Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. If you guys can hear me, let me know something. Give me a one. Matter of fact, give me a couple pandas in the chat if you can hear me. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Thank you for confirming. Hit the air horn for Jack. Hey, Chinky, thank you for the pandas. Give people a few minutes to come in. Hey, Mr. Turner. Hey, Paul. Thank you, thank you. There's an air horn for Mr. Turner and Paul as well. Air horn for Bola as well. Where you guys calling in from? Drop in the chat where you're from. Hey, Armor. Diverse Credit Solutions. I appreciate you. Thank you, JM. All right, so here's my question. Matt from Baltimore. We got Mr. Turner from Houston. Joshua from Indianapolis. Can you guys see me well? We got Brooklyn in the house. Chopped cheeses and Tim's. Okay, Archie. Mr. Bazin, how's it going? North Carolina. All right. Perfect. So you guys see me well? Okay. So here's a question. I'm going to leave it to you guys. So there's a lot of questions. Hey, Miss Norman, I appreciate you for being here. Air horn for Miss Norman. She was a 30-day CRA member. Air horn for her. And an applause. Santana, thank you for putting your question on the form. I'm going to have a pleasant surprise for you. Thank you, Gary, from Brooklyn. All right, bet. So let's get into this, right? So in this particular call, a lot of you guys don't know me. So if you guys know who I am, you probably going to hear a little bit of the story. You probably going to know what this was from. But a lot of you guys do not know me. And from before Dispute Panda, you might have heard my voice on the training. So I am the guy you hear on the training videos. I am him. So we're going to cover a couple of things here. So let me get my slides up, right? So we are at Dispute Panda Live, how to get credit repair results. So we are going to cover disputing as well as improving. So if you're coming in, drop where you're from in the chat. Type your city in the chat. And the first part, since we have some non-business owners as well, we're going to cover the things that you can do to improve your credit score within 6 months, even if you do not even send an attack. And I think that's super important for business owners to know and non-business owners to know, right? So we're going to cover their improvement piece, and we're going to make it fun. It ain't going to be boring or nothing like that. And then we're going to cover the attack piece. Then we're going to get into some truth or lie credit repair myths. And then I'm going to answer all your questions, and we're going to give away some free credits at the end. Is that cool with everybody? If we kind of follow that script? So it's going to be interactive. It's not going to be boring. Paper Dial says yes. Tangible Thomas says yes. Ms. Norman put the pandas in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So first things first. There was a launch. There was a live release that happened tonight just for this call. So first things first, we are going to be having more of these, a whole lot more of these. The Dispute Panda Pro users, since you guys asked in the chat, yes, we will have Dispute Panda Pro specific live calls to break down the business of everything. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this is. Anybody know what this is behind me? Give me a, if you know, anybody know what this is behind me? Drop a yes in the chat if you know what this is behind me. Fair Game said I found it. Do you guys know what this is behind me? Yes or no? So for my Dispute Panda Pro users, I'm gonna give y'all a second. I know there's a bit of delay on YouTube. So Adrian says, yes, I know what it is. Joshua says, yes, I know what it is. Okay. So for you guys who don't know me, we're going to get into the personal credit side. I'm going to be very personal here. I'm going to talk about my my vulnerabilities. I'm going to be talking about what I did right, what I did wrong from the personal side of the house. But my Dispute Panda Pro users who know what this is a plaque for 8 figures. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dominic Brown. I am a former credit repair specialist. I'm the quiet guy. I would rather be the plug than the light. Let's just put it that way. So I personally have done 8 figures in a credit repair company before I moved on to be the CMO of Dispute Panda. So my Dispute Panda Pro users, we will be having a lot of business talks, the mindset of things, and so on and so forth. So this is a plaque from ClickFunnels showing 8 figures for my organization, because at the time I was using ClickFunnels for that. All right, so let's get into this really quickly. All right, so let me share my screen. Let me take this banner off. Give me a second to share my screen so we can get into the presentation. Ken says, what is CMO? Chief Marketing Officer. I'm the reason why you heard about Dispute Panda a lot. At least that's my role, right? My job is to get you guys to understand what Dispute Panda is, right? So as the Chief Marketing Officer, I'm the one that's making the connections, the marketing arm of things like that. You wear a lot of hats in your business, right? So even if you're a credit repair company, right, you're the marketing officer, you're the salesman, you're the dispute person. It kind of flows like that. All right, I got my switchboard for y'all. I came out here and got fancy just for y'all, because anybody who been on my lives before know I wasn't this fancy with it. I was never this fancy with it. I got fancy just for y'all. All right, so case in point, we're going to get into the improvement section first, guys, right? So we have a lot of non-business owners on this particular platform. We're going to get into improvement and then repair. I think and the reason why I say that is because I think a lot of people jump into, okay, I have a software, I'm going to send off some dispute letters, but there's a lot you can do before you even send off a dispute or while you're sending your disputes. So as a business owner, you should be encouraging your customers or your clients to do improvement activities, right? Case in point, if you're trying to buy a home, if you're trying to get business funding, if you're trying to get any of those things, you need to have a structured credit profile, right? So if you can do improvement and repair, your score will drastically improve within 6 months. So we're going to do improvement, then we're going to do repair. Is that cool with everybody? Matter of fact, we're going to get into a round of applause here just for that. Round of applause. Can you guys hear my soundboard? I hope I ain't set this up for nothing. Tangible Thomas says sounds good. Shanika says yup. Can y'all hear my soundboard? Can you hear my let me see.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Swag.
I've
been doing this more than you.
You got my Kanye. Did y'all get my Kanye right there? Did you get my 2 Chainz? Bet. Okay. Let's get it. You guys can hear it. Isn't this recorded right? Tanner, so it will be recorded. This is live, Tanner. All right, so let me share my screen really quickly. All right, so we're going to get into it. How to get credit repair results. We're going to talk about improving, and then we are going to get into repair and answer all your questions. I'm going to stay on this live until every question is answered. If y'all ever been a part of any of what I do, that's how I give it up. All right, so let's get going. Let me where is it at? Hold on. Trying to find out where I'm at. Here we go. Now I can see. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, some of y'all probably thinking, why should I listen to this guy about improving my personal credit, about improving credit in general, right? So most of you would rather learn from someone who has accomplished what you desired. I have no problem showing my credit score, right? So at any time, I have no problem showing my credit score, because I believe people should teach from experience, not from fluff, right? So here's my recent scores. Of course, this is Credit Dino from May 18. I got, 3 more days. I could have pulled, if I'd have did this 3 days later, you would see the updated scores, but you see the 813, 827, and 821. So here's how it looks inside of Dispute Panda. Most of you guys are familiar with this screen, right? Now, I used to be Mr. Perfect Credit Score. I had a perfect credit score across the board, But my score dropped when I purchased a home for my mom and my mother-in-law, which was a huge milestone for me. And we're going to get into why that was a huge milestone, right? But it's funny how credit works, right? You know, you work so hard to get a score, and then as soon as you buy something that you want, your score drops down 20 points, drops down 10 points. Unfortunately, that's the game, right? But at least I was able to use my credit for something that I truly wanted. It was a milestone thing. You're going to see why that occurs here. Here's another thing. I eat, sleep, and breathe finances. If you follow me anywhere on social media, if you had an extensive conversation with me, finances and business, that is my jam. That is my thing. You know what? You got to hit the air horn for that, because that's what I love to do. Like when people go on vacation to get away from stuff, I read finance books. I read mindset books. I read business books. Like even being part of Dispute Panda is like a dream come true to me. And I wish that upon everybody within their business. But I want to get a few things straight though, right? Because you ain't gonna wake up. I mean, some of your clients will probably do this, right? They sign up with you and they're like, okay, it's been 7 days. I don't got an 800 credit score. That's not how this works, right? Just like you don't think your way to a 6-pack abs, you don't think your way to a perfect credit score or a home or a 680 within a 30-day time period, right? So good, not great credit is a lifestyle. Number 2, most people who watch trainings and masterclass and things like this, even though it's live and I'm going to be interacting with you, you know, they don't get nothing because they don't execute. Just promise me you will execute. Just say, I'm going to execute. And this ain't going to be one of those fluff webinars. I'm going to give you everything that you need and we're going to keep it going. Just promise me you're going to execute on information. That's all I ask. And if you don't understand something, ask the question so I can explain it. All right. So imagine helping yourself or a family member reach your milestone in their life because of a simple, repeatable process. So I want to show you a repeatable process for improving your credit, and then a repeatable process for repairing your credit. Improve, repair, same thing. Another person bought a home because of what I'm about to show y'all today. So teach this to your clients. Matter of fact, for you business owners, I want you to be looking at how I'm even presenting this improved section. Take it, remix it, put your own twist on it, give it to the people that you love, right? There's another person. This one was near and dear to my heart. This is my brother-in-law. If you knew his story, it was crazy, but I was actually able to be here for this particular event and was able to, you know, help him out as far as mortgage wise. Like it was when I say help out, I mean like gifted, like, you know, housewarming thing, not like help out. I had to pay it. But if I can be honest with you, it was hard for me to show y'all which results. So I just chose y'all the house one because everybody wants to show a house. Because, you know, when you run a credit repair company, I have thousands of videos that I could have showed you, but we ain't going to get into that. So who's this particular class for, right? Everyday working people who want to have the best interest rates. You want to buy a car, you want to buy a home, rental property, personal loan, or the credit professional who wants to know what kind of education they should be giving their credit peeps, right? This is for you as well. This is for people who are trying to get funding. If you're trying to get funding, you need a 680. You need certain things on your profile. So this first section is going to drastically help you when it comes to the improved side of the house. I'm going to tell you right now, some of the things I'm going to tell you, my funding bro is going to be a little bit mad because like, hey, man, I charge for that. But, you know, it is what it is. This is a game. And then for people who want to leverage, you know, credit for their lifestyle, right? So if you are a business owner, the people are coming to you to help fix their credit because they want to buy houses. They want to get funding. They want to do they want to travel and do all the perks from it. If you are a consumer or a regular person fixing your credit, you want these things too. All right. And of course, for credit repair business owners who want to get the best results for their clients, we're going to talk about improving and then repairing. Most importantly, this is how I start my day because, you know, I got good credit. Y'all saw the score, right? So imagine you got the freedom to choose how you want to spend your time, the freedom to run your business your way, the freedom to get the funds for your business so you don't have to ask your mom, dad, cousins, or anybody for money. The freedom to know that if you lost your job, you have credit backing you moving forward, right? Freedom to take vacations without draining your bank account, yada, yada, yada. This part here is all about freedom. All right. So more importantly, this is a perfect segue as to why personal credit matters, right? Nobody wakes up saying, ooh, I really want to fix my credit today. That just don't happen. And if they saying that, then
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations.
I've never seen somebody wake up and say, I want to fix my credit. Any of y'all ever did that? I've never had a hankering. I never had a taste for credit fixing. You know what I'm saying? That just don't happen. You know, you wake up like, oh, I want steak. You don't wake up and say, I want to fix my credit. You don't. Now, hold on. Where are you going here? All right, we're going to talk about cracking the code. So Dwayne said, can I live off credit without working? In some capacities you can. We're also going to talk about cracking the code. So we're going to talk about the 5 elements of personal credit scores, not the boring way that y'all been taught either. I got a little sauce on how I'm going to do it. And then, of course, getting the credit score you deserve in less than 6 months. It looks like that's missing off the slide, but in less than 6 months. So my credit repair professionals, please pay attention to what I'm going to be telling you here so you can do it immediately with your clients. And if you're fixing your credit on your own, if you do these things while repairing, you will win. And then, of course, the Truth or Lie Credit Repair Edition. We're going to give away some Dispute Panda credits when we get into this Truth or Lie Credit Repair Edition. Because I want to see if you guys know what you're talking about. I want to see if you guys are up on game, right? So let's get into it. And how to attack and respond to the credit bureaus. This is going to be a big one. You know, how do I set up my attacks? What do I do before I attack? What do I do when the credit bureau sends me a stall letter? What do I do if the credit bureau say this was verified? Do I use the CFPB? Do I go to the FTC route? What happens if I send something to a secondary bureau and they claim that I need to prove my identity and already proved my identity? Everything you want to know about attacking and disputing, stick with me. Stick with me. I got you. I got you. Please believe me, I got you. And of course, a live Q&A and credit giveaway and Dispute Panda, live presentations. Because who else can tell you about Dispute Panda other than I, right? The guy you hear the voices all on the training and things like that. Who else can tell you that? All right. So with that being said, take notes, tag me. You know, I'm most active on Facebook. If you already know, Dominic Brown, I got the check mark. I paid for the check, y'all. I paid for the check. I paid for the check. I had to do it. Applause for me paying for the check. You can also catch me on Instagram, catch me on TikTok, but my personal Facebook page is where I'm at with it. So if you take screenshots, you want to say, oh my God, gems, whatever it might be, that's where you can do that at. All right, let's keep it going. But I did pay for my check. No shame in my game. All right, so who's this guy? A lot of y'all know me, but a lot of y'all don't know me. So I'll give you a little bit of background. This ain't going to be a 45-minute thing. My name is Dominic Brown, formerly Mr. Perfect Credit Score, CMO of Dispute Panda. I am a rock lookalike, they say. You know, I'm a stunt and double for the Rock. You know what I mean? Are you smelling what Dom is cooking? No. Ran an 8-figure credit repair company where I assisted everyday people in achieving their financial goals and things like that, right? I wrote the best-selling book named How to Fix Your Credit. I taught financial topics in schools, from credit to investing to the stock market to budgeting to real estate. I've done countless presentations on how to improve your credit. Most importantly, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I'm gonna tell you right now, business owners, I do not prescribe, is not my love language to be that hustle guy. You know, I need a full 8 hours of sleep. I need to go to the gym. I need to be around my wife, my kids. That gives me energy because money fades, right? So remember why you started this business, right? So I got 2 loving daughters, Kinsley and Olivia. They go by the OK Girls. And because intimate knowledge of personal finances and credit, we were able to do some amazing things. For example, I had $100,000 in student loan. 80 of them was my mom, 20 of them was me. Paid that off due to credit and what I'm about to show you now as far as understanding finances. Started my credit repair business, completely funded it myself, and hired family members, right? And so that's one thing I always want to do, be able to hire family members, give them something back. And of course, met some amazing people along the way and being able to travel without restriction. That was my thing. My thing is traveling. Yeah, I'm on a call, baby. That was my daughter Olivia interjecting. But that's my whole thing, traveling, right? So when you're starting your business, start with the end in mind. Start with how do I want my day to start? How do I want my body to look? How do I want my relationship with my significant other? How do I want to travel? Those are my non-negotiables. We're going to get into that on the Dispute Panda Pro calls too. But most importantly, understand personal finances and credit allowed me to become the father I never had and the husband I needed to be. And I thank goodness for this information. So the life we have now, the wealth that we have now, the wealth we're going to leave our kids comes down to understanding these principles. Understanding these principles. But as you know, heroes didn't just start there, right? So we're going to talk about a little bit of vulnerabilities, right? Life wasn't always so sweet, right? I wasn't always starting my day dancing in the mirror because I had good credit and because the finances was financing and so on and so forth. I had a 500 credit score at one point in time, and it was due to me just not knowing what to do. It was due to upbringing and not knowing to read books, not having people I can get on a YouTube with to have conversations with to give me the game and to execute on. It was truth. So I'll save y'all the long backstory. I grew up in West Philadelphia. I know what y'all about to say. You're about to sing the theme song, West Philadelphia, born and raised, blah, blah, blah. Yes, my parents went to school with Will Smith. Yes, you are seeing a boarded up house across from where I grew up at. And yes, this is the classic scene from Fresh Prince when Will Smith was sobbing over his dad. Now, I was fortunate. I was lucky enough to meet my dad when I was an adult. And let's just say, shout out to my mom for holding down, best mom in the world. Y'all can fight me over that. And matter of fact, air horn in the applause for the mama. Shout out to the single mothers the single fathers too, because it's almost Father's Day, who held it down. And we were able to become great because they sacrificed. Shout out to that. Now, I'm going to skip past the part of my childhood friends being either dead, in jail, in trouble. We all know the story, right? Because, when you in West Philadelphia, if you guys ever been inside the inner city, it's only a few things you got. You got a ball, you got school, and you got illegitimate business opportunities. That's what you got, right? So you only had a few hustles, right? You see, I love the hustle. I love the game, right? And I'm sorry, but I like white. If you see my social media, I like white. It's the orange ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't fare too well with the buttery skin and the bald head and the pen. So, I played the sports and I played school. And I was scared of my mom more than anything, right? So let's get right back to the breaking point for me. That's enough of the backstory, right? Here's the breaking point for me. And let me know if y'all experience anything like this, right? So let me tell you about my mother, AKA my superhero. She went through a tough divorce, and her ex-husband wasn't the best with finances. So let me break this down. Imagine this happening to you, right? You're in love with somebody, and y'all have a different point of view on how to handle finances. They are a spender. You are a saver. You're conservative. They're not conservative. Yada, yada, yada. So long story, little less long. You get married, and imagine being a family breadwinner, and your spouse is cheating on you financially, not holding up their end of the bargain. Now imagine this. Imagine to try to work it out with this person. You got your differences, yada, yada, yada. And then you're working hard. You get a bonus every year that hits your account. Every year like clockwork. You counting on that bonus, right? But this time something funny happened. The IRS garnishes every dime of your bonus, and then they garnish your wages because of your spouse. Just put in the chat, how would you feel? Would that strain anything in your relationship if that happened, right? You're married to somebody, everything is cool, but their past of not paying taxes impacts you because now y'all have a joint bank account, and then the IRS makes a mistake and puts a lien on your wages instead of their wages. And let's keep it going. When the IRS finally corrects the garnishment, because it shouldn't have hit you, they give it back to your ex, who you are now separated and going through a divorce with. How would that hit you? How would that hit you? Imagine that you wake up, you got a nice chunky emergency fund, but it's a joint account. IRS takes that. Give me that. Take that. Diddy style. Old school Diddy too. Like old school Diddy. Give me that. Take that. That's a hurt piece. Now, let's keep it going. Imagine how I felt hearing all this for the first time. The person who put me in a better position taught me all I know about being a good person, poured into me. No, you can't go to a Philadelphia school. You're not going to do that. I'm going to put you in this sport to keep you out of this. I'm going to move. I'm going to bust my butt. I'm traveling to Jersey so you don't have to deal with what I went through. This is how you save. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you an allowance. And when you taught me everything, right? So imagine this person who taught you everything, gave you the game, inspired you to go to school to be a better person amongst all the noise. And they say, listen, I have to move back in with your grandma, and can you take over the student loans? The student loans? What you mean? What you mean take over the student loans? Well, I got 80,000 in my name. I just need you to hold it down for me for a little bit. Now imagine not having the money to hold that person down. Imagine not having the knowledge to hold that person down. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's the first time as an adult I cried. The first time as an adult I cried. I felt powerless. No education about it, no money about it. I couldn't even hold it down a little bit, right? Because you're just getting started as a college kid, and then you hear like, damn, I got 100,000. That's a hurt piece for me, right? That was my why. That was my, some people go through things, right, and they either become a hero or a villain, right? When the external things impact you, you either let them consume you, or you get your mama mentality on. That's what happened to me. All right, so, my mom worked very hard to get out where she grew up from, but due to credit mishaps and things like that, she had to go back to live at grandma's. So I devoured every book I can find. I didn't have the knowledge at the time, but you're talking about devout 4 hours a day. Every library book I can find. If they had audio books out there at the time, I would have figured it out. And I figured out something. Your credit score is a byproduct of your financial behavior, right? Now, it wasn't my mother's behavior. It was her significant other's behavior that impacted her. But you see where I'm going with this, right? Right. So this is a perfect segue into why this matters. But importantly, you need to find your why. Why do you want to improve your credit? Why do you want to improve the credits of others? My measuring stick is, would you sell it to your mother? So when you see anything inside of Dispute Panda, I'm operating from that. Would I give this to my mom? That's how I want you to operate. Would I give this to my grandma? Would I give this to my child? If you're a credit repair business owner, are you doing things that you would do to your mother? Do you understand that? Can I get a panda in the chat if you understand the mindset or the why for things? It has to be bigger than a superficial thing. It has to be bigger than the bag, right? Change the family tree. Change the family structure. If you don't have the information, you can get the information. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when somebody you love needs you, you're going to figure it out. Or you're going to go to work to go figure it out. So anything that you feel like you can't do, put yourself in that situation where you got to help the person that you love the most or love a lot. All right, so perfect segue. I told you the story is going to be short. I wasn't going to give y'all 45 minutes of the story. Y'all ain't going to have me over here crying. All right, the perfect segue into a topic of why this matters. But more importantly, you need to find what matters to you. So let's talk about 3 reasons why your personal score matters. And most people are improving their credit, and your clients most likely want to buy a house. So let's play a game, right? Do me a favor real quick. Drop in the chat the most you ever paid for rent. And then right after that, let me know which one of these houses would you want. What's the most you ever paid for rent? And my credit repair professionals, if you're seeing how I'm presenting, feel free to take whatever you need and present to your tribe the same way. I'm cool with that. So first and foremost, drop how much you pay. I see 2100s. I see 2s in here. I see Paper Dial says. No, Paper Dial's not your address now, baby. No, don't. Oh, baby, what is you doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put no. Don't put your address in the chat. Hey, I said put down how much you paid for rent, not where you rent. How much you paid for rent, not where you rent. And which house would you want? Come on now. Protect yourself at all times. What they say in boxing. Now imagine this, right? Imagine you're standing in front of your dream house with a white picket fence, a charming garden, a porch made for sipping lemonade on the lazy afternoons. It's the perfect place to create these lasting memories, right? But hold up for a second. The bank wants to know if you're financially trustworthy, right? They want to make sure you won't turn that dream into a nightmare. See, this is where your personal credit comes into play. You're not getting any of these houses without good personal credit. Unless you Jay-Z and Beyonce and you're going to pull from your investments and buy a $200 million house and get, unless you got money like that, you're going to use your credit. You either have a ton of assets in which you can pull from, or you're going to have credit and some cash to show the bank that you should give me a loan. Those are your two options. So having good personal credit is like having a golden ticket to your dream home, right? It's better than the magic wand that opens doors to better interest rates, more favorable mortgage terms, and a world of possibilities. So by taking control of your personal credit, you're not only repairing your financial reputation, but you're also unlocking the door to home ownership and turning those dreams into reality. Now, let's keep it going. Imagine this. I know a lot of you been here because this is where I was 2 years ago when we started to develop the Dispute Panda thing and we joined the board, right? So you got this. And even when I started my credit repair business, when I was in a cubicle, and I'm going to talk about that another time. So you got this crazy bright idea, right? You got a business plan that you wrote up that could change the world. We've seen these people on Shark Tank all the time, right? But there's one small hurdle: money. Now, dramatic music, traditional lenders and investors, they ain't looking to take a risky bet. Banks don't like risk. Let's be real, right? So even though you have this world-changing idea, what you missing? You missing funding. And guess what's going to get you funding? Your personal credit. So when you got a solid any business credit person will tell you, give them a 680. Give them 5 to 10 accounts. Give them no late payments in the last 24 months. Give them no collections. There's a lot of people probably in this chat right now that can get you 50, 100, 150,000. What they always tell you, give me a 680. Your personal credit matters. It's like that financial superhero. Ain't nobody trying to beg their mom and their dad and their cousins for a little bit of change. They're not going to believe in the vision. They bathe you. You have to get your personal credit together so you can move forward and do what you need to do to save the world, right? To be able to use business funding without draining your savings. You need to be able to use business funding without draining your savings. All right. Last but not least, and this is my fave. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Facebook, but just fast forward to your future, right? You started your credit repair business. You had your 5, your 10, your 15 clients. You got your business credit business going. You started on the phone as the salesperson. Then you hired a salesperson to do the job. And now you're finally making enough money where you can hire a C-suite. You hired your CMO. You hired your CEO. They're running operations. And now look at you living lavish, wearing yellow on a yacht in Bali with your name in the pool. You done bought your mom a house. You in the Maldives doing the little corny, push the breakfast to me. You in Emirates in the first class. All that comes off the discipline of having personal credit, doing what you need to do to start the business, helping as many people as possible. My love language is travel. I told you that right off the jump ski. My love language is taking care of family. I told you that right off the jump. My mom would never have to pay another mortgage again. My stepmother would never have to pay a mortgage again, ever. That's what you do when you get your credit right. I don't do the cars, not yet. I got my guy. I ain't gonna shout him out on here, but my guys told me I got to get right. My wife's telling me I got to get right. I do travel. I do houses. I do family. That picture in the yellow is 30 family members in Bali. That's what you can do when you get your personal credit right and you get your business, you leverage that into your business side of things. That's how you win. All right. Enough about that. Now we got our why in place. You got your why in place. Drop your why in the chat. I'm going to keep it going. Let's move on to learning the rules of the credit game so you can win. Learning the rules of the credit game so you can win. So we're going to crack the code and unveil the 5 elements of personal credit scores. Now, for my credit repair people, Credit repair, credit improvement is more than just sending letters. It's a mindset, it's a structure, it's a game plan. I need you to educate the people who trust you as a credit professional on these things. It will make your life a whole lot easier. I promise you that. It will make your whole life I know Dispute Panda makes it easy. You can go in there, take you 30 seconds, but you got to add this. All right, you got to add this. Everybody got me. I see a couple Y's in the chat. I see family. Robert said you paid for the family trip. This is a different conversation. Family. Bet. Okay. Let's keep it going. Am I doing good? Can I get a couple pandas in the chat if I'm doing good? Do I need to slow it down? Do I need to speed it up? Are y'all still with me? Am I true? Or am I or am I this? Am I true? Okay, pandas in the chat. Okay, y'all still rock with me. I appreciate it. Santana, you my guy. I see you over there, Favorable Font. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Marcus. Okay, got it. Let's keep it going. All right, so I'm not going to do the boring way, and I encourage you business owners to stop being so boring. Not saying that I'm not calling anybody out. But you started a business. Don't lose yourself when you're doing your business presentations, right? People want the realness. We know that everybody can now create 100 pieces of content, and because all the AI tools allow you to just do everything in like 2 seconds. And we know you got Chat GPT and it's writing stuff that don't sound like you. Be yourself. People want the realness. So I had to do it my way. I'm gonna lie. I was one of the guys. You saw me in all those suits. I don't wear those no more. I'm just gonna get real. I'm wearing the J's now. I'm talking how I want to talk now, and it makes me feel good to do it. So I encourage you to do it too. So we're gonna do this presentation a little bit different than you probably used to hearing it, right? So I'm going to do something a little bit different because, like I said, this part to me is boring, but boring gets you paid. Can somebody put that in the chat? This is boring, but this boring stuff I'm about to show you, hopefully in an entertaining way, will get you paid. It will get your clients results. It will get your scores higher because once you understand the game, and I'll break it down to you, once you know the rules, you know what to do within the rules, right? All right, so I'm going to break down the five elements while referencing one of the greatest movies of all time. No other than Friday by Ice Cube, starring Chris Tucker. You heard that right. We're going to break down the 5 elements of credit using a movie that should have won everything that you win for movies. All right. So before we get into this real quick, right, let's take a moment to talk about the credit score models, because I know you're going to ask me. There are several different models out there. You have the FICO, you got Vantage. You got FICO and Vantage. They twins. You see Spider-Man pointing at them down there? Right? Now, twins, FICO. But what truly matters is this. What truly matters is the credit profile. You talk to anybody in business credit, they don't care what score you got it from. They want to know what's in your profile. Why does the profile matter the most? The profile matters the most because if you look at the different FICO and Vantage score factors, all they're doing is calculating the score differently based off what's in a profile, right? So if payment history is 41% on Vantage and it's 35% on the FICO side of the house. And then for you guys who don't know, when your client goes get a mortgage and you've been using your credit monitoring, which uses Vantage, that's a whole separate mortgage score. There's a separate credit card score. There's a separate bank loan. There's a separate installment loan score for auto loans. There's a separate mortgage score. All that is, they're just moving the numbers a little bit differently. So when people's talking about like, okay, FICO 10T is coming, the banks ain't using it. They're not even using FICO 9. When you go get a mortgage, I believe it's, don't get me the line on here, but it's like FICO 5. The mortgage industry is not moving as fast as these credit algorithms come out. So you got to understand, FICO and Vantage are businesses. It's in their best interest to keep creating. It's like Nike. They keep giving us the Jordans that we don't want to wear. I'm sorry. I'm never going to wear anything that Mike didn't wear. Team Jordan, my foot. Get out of here. I know y'all business. You keep creating them and you going to throw your logo on it, but I'm not going to wear those. Okay? That's what the banks say. They don't FICO 10T. Ask your loan officer what model score they use. Nah, we don't use that yet. They're like 5 years behind. Yeah, 5, 3, and 2. Sorry, it was slipping my mind. Thank you, Fair. Give it up for Fair Credit Game in the chat. Give it air horns. Fair Credit Game coming through with the vibes. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's get into it. I told you I'm gonna use the legendary movie, right? So payment history, which is 30. I'm gonna use the FICO scoring model as I do all this too. Payment history. It's like Smokey. Reliable sidekick. 35% of your score. Or 192.5 points, right? So picture payment history, Smokey, played by the legendary Chris Tucker. He brings in the laughs, ensures you don't miss a beat. Similar to payment history, right? A lot of weight. The movie Friday wouldn't have been the best movie in the world without Smokey. So many quotables. Your credit score ain't nothing if you ain't paying your bills right. Right? So just think of it that way. Number 2 is utilization. It's my guy, Craig, right? Responsible homie. 30% of your credit score. A little sneaky because your credit utilization, and we're going to get into how you can manipulate this. Sometimes it plays a little part inside of the payment history side of the house too, okay? So imagine credit utilization like Craig, played by Ice Cube. Should have won a lot of awards for this. So just like Craig, he keeps a balance to the movie. Right? If Smokey's, he's reliable, he's main character energy. Craig is kind of like he's always in every scene, but he's there. He's right there. If you don't have the movie without Craig, you don't have a good credit score without proper utilization. You picking up what I'm putting down? Keep it low, keep it in check, just as Craig kept it cool throughout the entire Friday movie when he had to handle Debo. All right. Element number 3 is your length of credit history, right? So length of credit history is kind of like Big Worm, right? It's, he wasn't in the movie a lot, but he had a lot of impact, right? This is a part a lot of people kind of miss out on, right? They miss out on this 15% of your credit history is how long you've had credit. It's a sneaky one. You can't do nothing, beside with this one outside to just let it grow. The 4th one is the credit mix. We're going to call this one like Felicia, right? I hope you guys can still hear me. So this is about 10% of your score, right? So this is, how she kind of, credit mix is like Felicia's signature style, right? She never changed her clothes on Friday, and it constitutes around 10% of your credit score, and it refers to a variety of credit accounts, such as credit cards, loans, mortgages. So this is like your mix. You're mixing up here. And of course, the last one is new credit, and we're going to use Debo for this one. So it represents about 10% of your credit score, and it is like inquiries. All right, so we broke it down, right? So too much increase in a short period of time could make you look crazy on your credit. So there we have it. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. With the best cast of all time in movies and the best of everything. So we want to keep it fun. And I encourage you guys to do the same with your clients. Now, let's get right into it, right? Let's get into detail on what you need. So we know the rules, right? We know the rules. Let's get into detail what you need to get your credit score high with the improvement side within less than 6 months. Like if you don't even send a dispute off, no attacks, you can improve your score, what I'm about to show you, within 6 months. Within 6 months. All right. So let's clear something up. Unless you've been a victim of identity theft, or there are errors on your credit report from the creditors, your credit score is exactly where it's supposed to be. Your credit score is exactly where, unless you were a victim of identity theft, and there's legitimate errors on your credit report, sometimes billing mistakes occur, your credit score is exactly where you need to be. So we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty of credit repair improvement strategy. Your credit score is not a mysterious number. Your credit score is a byproduct of your financial behavior unless you were a victim of identity theft. It's a reflection of your past financial decisions and actions. But here's the problem. Here's the thing with that, right? Just like losing weight, you can get skinny. You can unbig your back. you can fix your credit. Let's put that in the chat. If you can unbig your back, you can fix your credit. Everybody with me now? If you unbig your back, you can fix your credit. Did everybody agree with me on that one? Can I get a unbigging back? No, that's too long of a word. Can I get some pandas in the chat if you believe that if you can unbig your back, you can fix your credit? Air horn in that. Let's get going. Let's break it down now, right? So when you're talking to your clients or you're looking at your report, this is what you got to do. So we're going to talk about a repair strategy for payment history and improvement strategy for payment history, right? So payment history, 35% of your score is smoky, right? It's addressing the repair strategy is attack the late payments. That's the only thing you can do from the repair side of the house when it comes to your payment history. You have to get the late payments off, or they have to go away with age. There is a such thing as the statute of limitations. And the statute of limitations is 7 years plus 180 days from your last payment is when that item will fall off your credit. So 7 years plus 180 days from your last late payment is when it falls off. If you ever notice that you only have 7 years of payment history. And for my Credit Dyno peeps, that's why Credit Dyno gives you 7 years. Anything beyond that 7 years and 180 days, it don't count. So you can challenge it off, you can goodwill it off, or you can wait it off. Those are your repair strategies. But from an improvement perspective, right, you can be consistent with your on-time payments, no late payments, and you can take more free throws. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, if you only have one credit card, let's use your student loans, for example. Your student loan payment comes due every 30 days. Every 30 days, you're going to be judged on this payment history spot. You got 12 shots a year. What can you do if you miss the payment, right? You want to be around the 98th percentile if you want to maximize all 192.50 points. What's one way you can get closer to the 98%, 99% if you miss a payment? You got to add more onto it. You got to take more shots. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So for you people with the thin profiles, right? You just got your student loan and you missed payments on, and you don't have nothing else. You're being judged. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Take more shots, right? So to enhance your payment history without disputes and to speed up the credit improvement process, you need to adopt the mindset of a payment pro. Payment history triggers based off you paying the minimum payment. The minimum payment. So even if you are maxing out on your credit cards, if you pay the minimum payment, you're doing good on the payment history thing. Credit utilization, not so much. But for payment history, you're cool. When it comes to installment loans, it don't matter how much you owe on your installment loan, which could be a car, which could be your student loans. It just matters if you pay the minimum on time. So number one, tell your client, set up automatic bill pay, at least for the minimum. I know we don't like it. I know we hate it. It's icky, but we can't afford to have more late payments. We need to make all our free throws if we want to win the championship. We need to make all our free throws if we want to win a championship. Got it? So here's a hack. If you only have one item reporting, once again, I'm going to repeat it. You are judged on only 12 payments a year. But if you have 6 items reporting, you are now judged on 72 payments. Everybody got it. Everybody got it. Everybody got what I'm picking up on the payment history thing. And I know we got a little bit of delay, so I'm going to keep it going. Oops. Get to my next slide here. Number 2, credit utilization. This is Craig. 30% of your score, 165 points. 165 points. So for utilization, there's no repair strategy for utilization. You cannot send a dispute letter to get utilization taken care of. You wouldn't want to dispute off the maxed out credit card because you're going to lose the payment history. So if your credit balances are on the high side or your client's credit balances on the high side, you got to cut down the weight. You want to get a 6-pack, you got to get the body fat down. Simple as that, right? Here's the tip. Everyone talks about 30% utilization. The real trick, if you want to max out this utilization, you want to be around 1 to 6%. You want to be around 1 to 6%. And I know there's several ways you can get your utilization down. Especially, a couple of business credit people talk about that. But if you want to keep it simple, pay down the debt, make the extra payment. Come up with a spending plan. I don't believe in budgeting. I believe in a spending plan. Come up with a spending plan to get your total and your individual card utilization down. I was a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. Earlier on when I was trying to figure it out. That his baby steps helped me tremendously on structuring how to pay down debt. I love it. I love the snowball method. You know why I love the snowball method? It wasn't financially, it didn't make the most sense, right? From an interest perspective. But sometimes our finances are emotional too. So what I'm telling you is there's no right or wrong answer to get into your destination if you're going to get there within 6 months, right? What you do today don't necessarily matter as much, but you need to have a game plan for handling the debt. If you want to do the avalanche, you want to line up highest interest rate to lowest interest rate and then pay it off, cool. If you want to do the snowball method, that's fine too. Another thing you can do is balance transfers. If you can transfer the balance from a high interest credit card to an installment loan, y'all know we can do that with the Navy Federal and the pledge loans and the Credit Strong and stuff like that. That works too. Another thing you can do, and I highly recommend you start doing this, every 6 months like clockwork, have your clients call up and ask for credit limit increases. You call your business credit and personal credit side. Call them up, ask for a credit limit increase. That's going to push that utilization down, right? So another thing you do is add more revolving credit to your profile. So you have total utilization, you have individual utilization. Ideally, you want individual utilization to be between 1 and 6, but from a total perspective, you want to be there as well. You want your profile to look good. Why am I saying this? No bank, no lender likes to see 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% utilization. They don't. You can just combine all those methods to getting it done. But if you want to get funding, if you want to look responsible, right, you have to have that utilization in check. All right, let's keep it going. Now, hold up. Did y'all realize something? If you get payment history and utilization under control, or you get that, if you get your client on this program, you just cover 65% of your score. You almost got 360 points right there. If you can just get yourself or your client to keep this under control. We didn't even get into sending off a letter. We're talking about financial management. Simple understanding the rules and playing within the rules can get you whatever you need to get to within 6 months. These two things, if you just express these two things to your client, they will love you. You know why? And I'm saying clients because, we have Dispute Panda users who use it for their clients, and we do have people who are using it for themselves. So when I say clients, I'm also speaking to that individual repairing their own credit who now is going to take this information to somebody that they love, that cousin that they hang out with, and they're going to say, hey, let's look at your profile. I'm talking to you too. If you can get your cousin, your loved one, your mom, your auntie to understand these two things, they can have the credit score that they want within 6 months too, before you even send off an attack. It's teamwork. Fairgrain said it. It's teamwork. So for my credit professionals, don't just say, oh, in 30 days, I'm going to get this done. Tell your people that you love, that just paid you that hard-earned dollars, listen, we got to get that. We got to get your payments under control. Because even if I get everything removed, if you're not paying on time and your utilization is high, you're going to be mad at me in 45 days because your score ain't going to go nowhere. I'm sorry. You're trying to unbig your back. You got to give up the sugars. It is what it is. If you're unbigging your back, you want to have a six-pack, you got to give up some things. All right. Element 3, length of credit history. So here we go. Talk age for a second. It's about 15% of your credit score or 82.5 points, right? There's no repair strategy for age. You can't dispute, you can't attack age. What's the improvement strategy? Patience. And don't remove something on there with a big age. I was speaking to someone the other day. They had one late payment on a student loan since 2007. Let me ask y'all this really quickly. If you have a client or you're looking at a profile and they got a few collections on there and they got a late payment on a student loan account, one late payment on a student loan account that is 20 years old, and that late payment was in year 6,
Do you think it makes sense to get that account deleted? Account was open since 2007 with on-time payments. So you credit professionals, you don't want that to go away. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You can be like, yeah, I got the late payment deleted. You also just drop this person's score like a rock. Don't do that. What Andre 3000 says, don't do it. Reconsider. Matter of fact, what you say to that, Ross?
Accusations.
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
We don't want to do that. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. You guys know what you're doing. All right. So for history, patience. Don't accidentally challenge stuff with long history, please. Hit that little I button in Dispute Panda. Open up the credit dyno thing and look at the credit history for the 7 years. And if you only got 1 or 2 late payments and they're over 3 or 4 years, leave it alone. Please leave it alone. And by the way, yes, Panda AI version 2 just dropped, but version 3 is coming and will have different logic as it pertains to those late payments. So I don't want my people to make a mistake. I don't want you hurting a loved one. I don't want you hurting a loved one. The devs, we already talking about what we're going to do for that. All right, let's keep it moving. Credit mix is 55 points. Credit mix is 55 points. It's 10% of your score. So when everybody's like, oh, I got all these inquiries, I need to get my inquiries off. I mean, the repair strategy is you can challenge inquiries. You can get them removed. We know that. But they only 10% of your score. 55, 50 points, that's not a lot. And to be honest, your inquiries after a year old, even though they stay on your report for 2 years, because the statute of limitations for inquiries 2 years, after 1 year, they don't impact you. So unless you are doing a funding sequence, you may not need to do much with these. Number 2, don't be so gung-ho to get these inquiries removed and accidentally challenge an inquiry with an open account. Does anybody know what happens if you challenge an inquiry on an open credit card? Can somebody put in the chat what may happen? If you challenge an inquiry on an open credit card, what do you think the bank will do? If you challenge an inquiry on an open credit card, what is a possibility that the bank will do? Latoya says, shut it down. Santana says, shut it down. Latoya says, delete it. Fair Game Credit, he's been on it all day. Fair Game has been on it. Altair said, fraud. Paper Dial says, flag you. Exactly. So for my consumers out here, for my DIYers, I know you looked at the TikTok. I know you've been looking at YouTube and you got somebody who's an attractive character and they're giving a game out there and they say you need to get all your inquiries removed. Please be careful. Please be careful. Let's put it this way.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
I'm going to let Kanye handle
I've
it.
been doing this more than you.
I'm going to let Kanye handle that. Okay. What you say, Kanye?
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
Don't do it.
I've been doing this more than you.
Okay. So, since disputes won't help you increase your credit mix, it's now time to focus on adding more installment and revolving credits to your profile. Okay? The only way you fix your credit mix is by doing what we need to do to fix our payment history. I said this on the first thing. We got to shoot more free throws. In order to shoot more free throws, in order to get more payment history, we need to add an installment loan. We need to add a revolving credit. Then we need to keep those things down. So we know the rules of the game. We know what the scoring of them all are. We know what our repair techniques are. We know what our improvement techniques are. So I'm going to give you the answer to the next step. Let's get into the next step. All right. So we just went through the 5 elements, right? And I lined up what you can do to repair and improve. Did you notice something? So I'm gonna give y'all about 10 seconds, right? Drop what you noticed in the chat as I went through those 5 things. What is something that you noticed? And I'm gonna give you a hint. It's regarding repair versus improvement. What did you notice about the 5 elements and how many can be repaired and how many can be improved? Too Real said Kanye ended up having the answers. He had the answers. It took him a long way to get it, but he had the answers. Miss Powell said, I'm loving this. Love you too, Miss Powell. Round of applause for Miss Powell. Air horns. Oh, she said no disputes. Okay. No disputes. Oh, y'all noticed something, right? The biggest impacts are from improvements. Wow. It's like exercise, right? If you unbigging your back, I'm gonna keep drawing parallels. You know where you get the gains? You know where you get the most gains from? What you consume. If you're trying to improve your credit, you get the most gains, in all honesty, with your financial behavior. Your financial behavior. Unbigging your back, portion control, caloric deficit. I understand we got all the powders. We want to put saran wrap on our belly. I saw one, you got the shake weight, and all that. You know what really gets the gains? Caloric deficit. When it comes to credit improvement, you can erase everything. What happens if you have nothing on the profile? My credit pros know this. You need to have something reporting for at least 6 months to generate a score, right? So even if you delete everything and they ain't got nothing on the profile, they still ain't got good credit. You picking up what I'm putting down? So for my credit repair professionals, as soon as you have a conversation with your client, you have to convince them that they have to help out on this side, because you can't do nothing. You can't do anything for that client on the behavior side of the house. If you are a personal trainer, you can have the best workouts in the world. If I'm busting down mad snacks, mad morsels, fettuccine Alfredo, just this hella snacks, candy, cookies, no matter how much I'm working off in the gym, I'm not burning enough calories to handle the negative. You got me? Okay. Isn't it interesting how repair strategy only comes into play with like one or two of the 5 elements? But there was an improvement strategy for every element. So if you're in repair mode, you either have not paid your bills on time, and those things turned into a ton of late payments, collections, foreclosures, and repossessions. I get it. Life happens. Or you were a victim of identity theft or a billing mistake. Billing mistakes can be handled. Your behavior is something that you're going to have to work on. So repair is specific to what's going on your account, but improvement can be worked on at all times. Can somebody say that? Repair is specific to what's going on in the account, but improvement can be worked on at all times and immediately. The 5 elements of your credit score might seem complex, but they all boil down to responsible credit behavior. Every business, you want a house, you got to be responsible. You want that car, you got to be responsible. You want that business funding, you got to be responsible. So pay your bills on time. Don't max out your cards. Keep your oldest credit lines open. Limit how many times you apply for new credit. Diversify your credit types. It might seem like magic, but smart financial habits aren't. Improving your credit comes down to playing by the rules. Just like long-term investment comes to playing by the rules. I made a post on Facebook the other day. Long-term, boring investments all day. I don't even look at the stock market. 30 grand in the last month. Sticking to the basics. Keeping it simple. And don't always got to be sexy. There's nothing sexy, exciting about what I just said here, but it's important. All right, now let's get into the exact revolving and installment accounts you should get immediately to improve your credit. And now this is of the last 2 weeks or so, right? So this may change, as we do this more often. I'll be giving you the newer ones and things like that. All right, 5 rules to credit domination. Share this with your clients. Get your screenshots ready. So we went over the rules. We know what we need to do to improve. Now I want to ensure that if you do this, you're going to be good. Your client score will improve. You can get stalled out by the credit bureaus 3 months in a row. As long as your client is doing this immediately from day one, they're going to love you. We know we're going to talk about the stall letters and things like that and how the credit bureaus are moving. But you can't stop the credit bureaus from doing what they do. You can't stop them from violating your client's rights. You can't stop them from disrespecting you from that perspective, right? And we all know FCRA Section 611, when they receive a dispute in the mail, they have 30 days to respond. If they stalling you out, it's going to be a while. So the 5 steps: pay your bills on time. These are golden rules. Never use more than 6% of any revolving account. And if you really are trying to get funding, or if you really want your score to pop, 45 days before you apply for whatever you apply for, bring it down to 1%. You want to bring it down to 1%, let a statement cycle go through, let it pop up on your report, score should jack up, then you apply for what you apply for. No late payments ever. And if you're doing a funding cycle, you can't have any late payments in the last 12 to 24 months, ideally. And as lending gets stricter, banks are going to be real choosy, going to be real particular about who they give this funding to or what cards they shut down. I'll foresee in the next 6 months or so, you get one late payment, your limits is getting cut in half. So be careful. No new increase outside of the ones I'm about to show you for the next 6 months. So tell your client this: hey, we're going to have a credit improvement plan. I don't want to see you going to the whatever store it is and they hit you at the cash register. You want 10% off with the store credit card? No, you don't. You don't want it. Absolutely not. No. Air horn for people who say no. Open 2 installment accounts and at least 3 revolving accounts. That gets you 5 accounts. At least 5 new ones. It's going to jumpstart that credit. It's going to be able to help you fight some of the negative things that you have there. It's fighting some of the bad behavior. It's the equivalent of, if you're eating a 3,000 calorie diet, it's equivalent of cutting 500 out. And we all know if you cut 500 out times 7 days, you're probably going to lose a pound or 2 a week. Same thing with credit improvement. Same scenario. Are we clear? Get your screenshots ready. Step 1, pick 3 revolving accounts. We starting with the revolving side. And ideally, you want the ones that report to all 3 bureaus. You kind of want to do this at the same exact time. So I broke down which credit bureaus they report to as well. Because you have 3 consumer reports, credit reports, you want to ideally go with the ones that's reporting to all 3. Now, granted, if this has changed in the last week or so, I apologize. You can give them a call. You can give them a call to figure out which ones they report to. But these are literally guaranteed approval, or close to guaranteed approval. This isn't for somebody with the 780, right? We're not talking about that person. We're talking about that person who needs to get to the 680 for funding. We're talking about the person who needs to get to the 680 or so for the home purchase. We're talking to people who are improving their credit right now. So we have a mix of some secure cards in here. We got a mix of some cards that doesn't require you to put money up. Now, remember this: revolving accounts will help you with payment history, utilization, and payment mix. The reason why we are starting with revolving accounts is because they hit a lot of the 5 elements. When you're paying your bills on time, that revolving account will register. When you're lowering your utilization, that revolving account will register. So what is a revolving account, you might be asking? These are non-fixed things, not non-fixed payment things. But so something that's not standard, right? So your car loan is the set price every month, right? Installment. It's clockwork. You can set your watch by it. Your revolving account, that balance will vary. You got your minimum payment. You can pay a little bit more. You can pay a little less. That's how you can kind of dictate what a revolving account is. Everybody got it? We all good? Can I get some pandas in the chat if we understand the revolving account side of the house? Latoya said it's blurry. Everybody see it says Tomo Card, Chime, Discover It, Capital One Quicksilver, Credit AI, Credit One Bank, Open Sky, Credit Strong, Revolve. Prioritize the ones that report to all 3. Prioritize the ones that report to all 3. We got them. Air horn for y'all. Air horn for y'all. Look at y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I love to see it. Hour 8 minutes in. Am I giving value? I just want to know, am I giving value? Can I get a value in the chat if this is valuable to you? If I'm being valuable to you, drop a value in the chat. If I'm not being valuable, just put no value. If I'm being valuable to you, drop value. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Value. Value. Oh, hold on. I'm not from Baltimore. You too. Yeah, quick question. Sidebar. I'm going to get back to it. I want y'all to get y'all screenshot on. Baltimore people sound like they from England? Do Baltimore people sound like they from England? Or am I tripping? Baltimore in the UK, I don't know. I'll be feeling like, they distant cousins. All right. Oh, Altair says no. No, Baltimore doesn't sound like the UK, or no to the value. You gotta absolutely. All right, value. Okay. All right, Pat, let's keep it going. Okay, installment accounts. Cheryl said I'm tripping. All right. Step 2. Pick 2 installment accounts. Ideally, you want the ones to report to all 3 bureaus, right? Remember that installment accounts will help you with payment history only. Installment accounts does not impact your revolving credit. So when you get that car note, when you get that student loans, when you get that mortgage, they don't trigger the revolving the utilization. They only trigger the payment history side. Here's the other thing that a lot of people don't know. Paying off that installment loan too quickly don't help your credit score. Now, don't get a $10,000 loan and then pay it off after 45 days. That doesn't help you. You need the on-time reporting. Okay? So have that account open for at least 6 months, 6 cycles of reporting so you can benefit from it. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is when you get an installment loan, and this is why I want you to do the installment and the revolving at the same time. When you get an installment loan, you ever notice that when you get a house, you get a mortgage, you get a student loan, you get a personal loan, that score drops like a rock? That's what happens. You're going to have a temporary dip, big dip. Just like when you apply for your revolving credit cards, right? When the inquiries hit, you get hit with a dip immediately within the next 7 days or so. Why does that occur? Well, you really don't have a credit score. You have a credit profile. And as things happen to that credit profile, the score changes because it's a mix, right? FICO, Vantage. Every day, if you pull your credit report tomorrow, it would be different from today if you did anything with it, right? So when you do that installment loan, you're going to hit with the inquiry. If you pull your credit the next day, you're going to see a little dip. When the installment loan reports, it's going to be a big dip. And then what happens is, as you're paying on time, it starts to creep back up. But how do you get around that big dip? Well, if I added 3 or 4 revolving accounts with my installment loan, the revolving accounts will make up for the dip. So that's a little hacky hack there. Okay. So once again, this is why we're opening up the revolving account simultaneously to dampen the temporary increase. In a perfect world, you're doing all this at the same time. Get your screenshots here. So we got Self-Lender, which reports to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You got your Navy Federal Credit Union pledge loan. So if you can't get into Navy Federal, there's tons of content out there that shows you how to get into Navy Federal. You got Mission Lane, you got Kickoff, you got Credit Strong Install. So with Credit Strong, it's interesting. I believe you can have the revolve and the install count. I would say you should do that. Now, Credit Strong is in some of these things, they will give you the money back at the end of it. Raquel says, I love the presentation. Thank you, Raquel. I met her at CreditCon. Air home for Raquel. More fire. Yolanda says, good hack for the dip. I'm out here giving value and stuff. Ooh. Y'all don't even know me. I'm leading with value. See, that's how I like it. You see, we fam now, man. 269 people listen to me at 9 p.m. on the 15th. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You could have been out there doing all types of ratchet stuff with your friends, and you choose to be a nerd with me. I look at y'all. I love my nerds. I love y'all, man. Air home for y'all. Air home. Applause for y'all. And 2 Chainz, what do you want to tell the people? I love it. Okay. So we all got it. We all got this one. So let's move on to the next one, right? Let's go to the next one. Let's get into the True or Lie Credit Repair Edition. Give me a second here. Let me get it together. I want to get into the True or Lie Credit Repair Edition. So we're done the improvement side. Now we're going to get into the truth or lie. We're going to get into answering your questions live. Oh, wait. Breaking news. Hold on. Breaking news. Hold on. Let's get it together. Hold on. Before we do that, before we get into truth or lie, breaking news. Does everyone see that banner? I just got word from the dev team, from the CTO, from the people. Dispute Panda has become the first credit repair software to be absolutely free. Everybody understand what I'm saying right now? Dispute Panda I just got word from the devs. They just pushed the update. Dispute Panda has been the first credit repair software that a CRO can use that is 100% free. Do y'all understand the words that's coming out my mouth right now? Do you see the banner? Do you see what that banner says? Do y'all see what the banner says? What that banner just says, because if you are using Credit Dyno or your client is using Credit Dyno and you do a one-click import, you instantly get a free attack every 35 days. Every time you do an import. So for you credit repair professionals out there, what am I saying to you? Your client needs credit monitoring anyway. Your client needs credit monitoring anyway. What I'm saying is, if you are an affiliate of Credit Dyno, not only will you get the highest paid commissions in the industry, but you don't have to pay for an attack. You don't have to pay for your factual disputing. You don't have to pay for your consumer law attack. You don't have to pay for your Metro 2 attack. Because as we already know, there's no fee to use Dispute Panda as an attack engine. Dispute Panda Pro, which is the CRM, the one-click, not the one-click imports, the re-import summaries, the client portal, right? The client portal when you want to send your client, that's Dispute Panda Pro. But for you people who don't have more than 10 or 15 clients or so, maybe you don't need a full-fledged CRM. Can I get a panda in the chat if what I just said helps your business? Can I get a panda in the chat if what I just said helps your business? Can I get a panda in the chat if what I just said helps your business? If you are repairing your credit on your own through Dispute Panda and you're using Credit Dyno, you pay nothing for attacks. We already know static attacks are free. Now you send into Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion for free. So let me go back to Wise for a second. So initially coming into this, the why was being able to help my mother, right? Making sure that my family did not go through anything financially. So I got myself together, got the fam together. Then you go into business. You say, you know what? How can I help more people? So you're doing this as a business and you're educating people, and you spend your time on presentations to educate people so they can help more people. But then you just keep going up. Then you say, okay, well, what's the next level? And then you look around and you say, hey, why are these credit repair softwares not innovating? Why are they not innovating? Why is it slow? Why when you put in your your request for new features, it don't get done? Why is the customer service slow? Why? And then you say, well, there's two things you can do. I can complain about it and go on Facebook and do a rant. Or you can be the change that you want to see. And I don't mean to get too deep, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to join the Dispute Panda team. There's a group of people who care. There's a group of people who are going to get it done. Now, we ain't going to be perfect now. We're not going to be perfect, right? But name another software that did so much in less than a year. It's funny. It's funny how there was no innovation until after September 2022. I know I'm talking heavy right now, but there was no innovation in the credit repair space until after September of 2022. Then you start seeing you no longer have to pay for this to get that. All of a sudden, This price is that price. All of a sudden you got now we're doing this too. Come on, man. Come on, man. So no, that's fine. That's Mr. Urban. That's fine. You're going to have issues. You're going to have issues, but we're going to fix those issues too. That's the big difference. That's the big difference. We want all the smoke. If you have issues, send it over. Give me opportunity give us opportunity to fix it. Everything has flaws. Right? Christian said, y'all the reason they trying to change the laws. All right. So Brad's breaking news. That's breaking news. And that's immediately. That's right now. All right. So let's keep it moving. Truth or lie. Hold on. Truth or lie, credit repair edition. Truth or lie, credit repair edition. We're gonna see who got the answer, Sway. We're gonna see who know what. We're gonna see who's good or not. That's what we're gonna see. We're about to find out who really knows what they're talking about. We're about to find out who really know what they're talking about. So let's get our questions together. Number one, first question. You should never pay a collection because paying the collection restarts the clock and it will remain on your client's or your credit report longer. Does paying a collection restart the statute of limitations clock? And does the debt remain on your credit longer when you pay a collection? Latoya said that's true. Y'all sure about that? So you're telling me that if you have I'm not talking about the original creditor.
Accusations.
These are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
And
Paying a debt collection does not put that debt on your credit report for an additional 7 years, y'all. It don't.
Accusations.
these are not accusations. This is
False accusations.
Come on now. Tighten up, y'all. Okay, here's another one. If you get your student loans removed from your credit report, or you remove somebody's student loans from their credit report through disputing, that means the legal obligation to pay those student loans no longer exists. That means you solve the legal obligation to pay. That means if you challenge Sally Mae, you sent the best Metro 2 letter out. Ooh, Supreme boosted. You got a Supreme boosted on them. And Navient and Sally Mae went bye-bye. That means your client no longer has to pay that debt. Is that true or false? Good job, y'all. I'm gonna say air horn. Y'all got that one right. Okay, we 1 for 1. Okay. Funny story. There was a long time ago, before, back in the day. There's somebody on Instagram, when Instagram was really popping, like, oh, I get student loans removed all the time and they don't have to pay. I bet this person, I said, listen, we can draw it up, put a contract on it. I said, listen, I got $100,000 to your 10 grand. If you can remove somebody's student loans from their credit report and we call up Sally Mae right now and they say, oh yeah, such and such don't owe us no money, I'll give you 100 grand. But if we can't do that, if Sally Mae ain't co-signing it, you owe me 10. I just want you to go on Instagram and say, Dominique do kind of look like The Rock a little bit. When he to the side. If I move to the side a little bit. That's all. That's all I wanted. That's it. They ain't take me up on the bet, y'all. They ain't want that smoke. They didn't want that smoke. Nope. They sure didn't. Okay. Here's one y'all better get right. One y'all better get right. Does payment history account for 30% of your credit score? Does payment history account for 30% of your credit score? Does payment history account for 30% of your credit score? True or false? Sip and Learn says yes. Joshua says false. Nomad Management says truth. Come on now. Tighten up, y'all. Bunch of falses. Okay, I love it. What you say to that, Ross?
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false.
Oh, all right. Let me see who went to TikTok and YouTube University and Instagram University real quick. And don't. We only got a couple more of these questions. We're gonna get into the Q&A that you guys put on the forum, and of course some live Dispute Panda stuff. Don't worry about it. I got you. Freezing your credit report or secondary bureaus helps remove or stop negative items from reporting. Freezing your credit report or secondary bureaus helps remove or stop negative items from reporting. So when you go to LexisNexis and you freeze it, right, and you freeze all the secondary bureaus, that's going to stop any negative items from reporting. Or if you freeze Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, that means the negative item stops reporting. True or false? Ooh, okay. We got a bunch of falses in the thing. So wait. You mean to tell me you guys already know that freezing the secondary bureaus, LexisNexis, CoreLogic, Credit Code, that don't stop negative items from reporting? Y'all knew that? Wow. Okay, hold on. Good job, y'all.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations.
And you ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. I've been doing this more than you.
Good job. You don't know how many times I hear that. Oh, I froze LexisNexis and that means something. That don't mean nothing. You know what that means, guys? That's going to mean very tough for you or your customer to get anything related to that pulls from that bureau. Freezing does not stop negative information from reporting. Say it with me now. Freezing protects your information from being breached. For example, if you were to freeze Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, that don't stop those late payments from reporting. It stops from people accessing your credit profile. If you freeze LexisNexis, CoreLogic, sometimes that will impact your ability to rent. Sometimes that might impact your ability to get insurances. Car insurance, home insurance, they pull from those secondary bureaus. So if you freeze them, it might be hard for you to move forward in life in doing certain things. You freeze for protection. Case in point, if you have a child and they have a social security number and you know that credit shouldn't be touched, you will freeze the credit profile so people can't access the information or use it to open up stuff. If you grew up in the inner city, somebody has somebody's name on cable and yada, 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 freezing the credit report would have stopped that. So we all on the same page on that one. Come on now. So Raquel talking about I don't look like The Rock. All right. Hold on. Let me hit y'all with it. Hold on. I'm shiny. I'm glistening. Melanated. Hold up. Put me in a movie. Is that not The Rock? Come on now. Come on, somebody. If not The Rock, at least give me the pebble. If not The Rock, at least give me the pebble. You feel me? All right. Let's keep it going. Closing a credit card can help you or your clients improve their score. I'll take Tyrese. What more do you want from me? Closing a credit card can help your client increase their score. True or false? Closing a credit card can help your client increase their score. Okay, I got a smart bunch. I love it.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
let's keep it going. Your client, here's the scenario. Your client comes to you, they just signed up, they got the Benz, They was going crazy off the TikTok tips. Got the G-Wagon outside looking crazy. They got the G-Wagon in their name. They Airbnb. No, they put it on Turo. Turo ain't Toroing how it's supposed to Toro. So they want to get a car back. Does giving the car back, a voluntary repo, won't hurt your credit score? Giving your car back, a voluntary repo, won't hurt the credit score, correct? True or false? They didn't come get it. You took it back to the dealership. You fancy. You gave it back on your own terms. Does that hurt your credit score? True or false? It will hurt.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false.
It definitely will hurt. I said it won't hurt your credit score, right? I would say giving back your car, voluntary repo, won't hurt your credit score as much. All right. If your client wants to co-sign for somebody else's car payments, right? That cousin, I'm really help me out, big cuz. And they start missing payments, and you the co-signer, it won't impact your credit. Your credit will not be impacted if you co-sign and they start missing payments. True or false? You worked hard. You followed the tips. You got your 680. Your score went up. True or false? False as hell. All right.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
here's ones for my married couples. You're married. You both on the credit card, joint card. Right? Let me switch up the view. You're both on the credit card, joint card. You get divorced. Life happens, you know. If you are on the credit card with your significant other, y'all get a divorce. They start missing payments. Will the card will no longer report to your credit? True or false? Because you got a divorce, that card no longer impacts your credit. This one comes up a lot. Got a smart bunch. This one comes up a whole lot, right? Once again.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
all right, last one. You shouldn't build credit while repairing your credit. You shouldn't build credit while repairing your credit. No, you should not do any improvement. You should just let the credit repair specialist, you should just send off a tax every 35 days. Do not do any improvement. Everything will be fine within 6 months. True or false? True or false? There's no improvement needed. Oh, y'all perfect. Y'all perfect. Y'all killed that. All right. Let's get into this Q&A. So there have been people who put questions on the forum. I'm going to respect it. I'm going to answer every question that was put on the forum, and then I'm going to double back to the chat. Are we cool with that? Wait, come on, man. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's put this on here. Facts or cap? Do I look like Charlemagne? Facts or cap? True or false here? Come on now. Dude, Madmont says, I look like Charlemagne. Come on now. True or false on this one? Come on now. Cap, okay. Come on now. What we not going to do?
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
We're not going to do that.
I've been doing this more than you.
We not going to do that. We not going to do that. We not going to do that, sir. Dang, he said, man said I look like Charlemagne. What Webby say? Well, my banner won't go down. Oh, there we go. All right, bet. All right. Let's get to the first one. Samantha says, how do I import Credit Dino into Dispute Panda? How do I import Credit Dino into Dispute Panda? That's real easy. You just take the username and password, hit the little drop down, go to Credit Dino, hit the drop down, put the username in there, the email, put the password in there, hit the one-click import. There's a whole video on it as well on the website. Do I want to travel to the website? I'll show you on the website where the video is at. Give me a second. Oops. Hit the wrong one. Let me get my my spotlight. Let me share my screen really quickly to show where you can find this. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to be fancy. Give me a second. Trying to be fancy. Boom. All right. So can y'all see the website? Michael said, why they disrespecting me? Listen, hey, man, that's the game. That's the game, Mike. That's the game. All right. So if you can see the website, you want to go to this training tab. And then you want to hit this first video right here. It'll pop open and it'll show you exactly what to do. But it's simple. It's super simple. You go to your documents tab. You put Credit Dino in there on the drop down. Put the email. Put the password. Hit one-click import. You good to go. Boom. As soon as you put it in there, it's gonna say you got your free attack. We all clear on that. Latoya says, which attack is best and the most affordable? So here's a beautiful thing about Dispute Panda, right? So unlike a template-based system, every other system is a template-based system where the verbiage is all the same, even the ones who claim to do Metro 2. And what I mean by that is the only verbiage that changes that's not static in those other systems are the images, right? So within Dispute Panda, every single last attack changes. Every word, everything, it always changes. So you don't have to say, do different things. It automatically does it for you. Now, where does the variation come into play? So there is a bit of strategy if you want to send. So for example, let me go into here and show you what I mean on the account. Let me show you what I mean. And y'all, I'm going to literally answer every single last question. I'm going to answer every single last question. Let me share this screen really quickly. How do you exit screen share? Share this one. Not a Chrome tab. I want to share this one here. All right. Can you see my screen? Hopefully you can. So if you go into this attacks tab here, these are your different variations, Latoya. So your nerve attack is all items on the one credit report. Your pinwheel limits, it's like the nerve attack, but it limits to 7 and 10. Your punch of fury gives you an inquiry letter, a personal information letter, a public record letter, and an accounts letter. Round kick is like punch of fury, but it has limitations of 5 accounts and 9 inquiries. And paralyzing touch point is a letter for each item within the disputing tab. So let me give you an example of why you may want to use a paralyzing touch point a little bit later in the rounds. Well, per FCRA section 611, when the credit bureaus receive a dispute or a notice, right, it goes based off a count. So if I send something about an inquiry, they have 30 days to respond to that. If I send something about a late payment, they got 30 days to respond to that. If it's all separate, they have to respond to each account, each letter. So if I got 18 letters, they owe me 18 responses. If they don't respond, technically that could be a violation of the rights. If you're into pre-litigation, you possibly can sue them, escalate to the CFPB, and so on and so forth. So you have your types of attacks, and then you have your style of attack. So a lot of people are mistaken that Dispute Panda only does Metro 2. That's not the truth. You can do factual disputing. You can do consumer law. You can do factual disputing, consumer law plus Metro 2. So the Supreme and Supreme Boosted are the only ones that have the Metro 2 logic on it, as far as the coding on the table, base sector fields, header record codes, and so on and so forth. The premium and the nerve attack will give you a plain letter. So if you are in here, and then if you're in Credit Dino, right, and you want to go into, let's just assume this account had, let's use a one with longer late history here. Here we go. So let's assume, right, and this is why I'm a huge fan of this 7-year payment history. Let's assume I had a late payment. Let's assume this was not an old account that we didn't want to get deleted. But let's say I had a late payment in year 3 in January. Well, I might want to come in here and go into factual disputing mode, right? I was not late in January of blah, 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 blah. Please update as, y'all know what y'all do. Pay as agreed, never late. I can do that for this one. And then if I want to use Metro 2 for everything else, I can. And if I don't want to use Metro 2 logic, let me go back here. Let me check it. If I don't want to use, so one of them I'm doing the factual dispute on, and one I'm doing Metro 2. I can come in here and say, you know what? I'm going to do my nerve attack. I'm going to do a regular one here with handwritten font. You literally can do Metro 2. If you don't want to have the Metro 2 logic on there, you can use the Panda AI engine to just do automated disputing for you. All that happens still within like 30 seconds or so. It gives you different flavors of attacking. So you got the different colors, you have the letters amounts, you have handwritten font that rotates, you have regular font that rotates. I can do factual, I can do consumer law, I can do automated disputing. So literally anything you can do in another, this is the part that confuses me. Oh, I used Dispute Panda, it didn't work. Well, what do you use that work, boo-boo? What do you use that work, Stink? Oh, I use consumer law. You know you can do that right there. You can do it right there. I just showed you where you can do it. What are we talking about? Okay, that's me on a little tangent, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let me bring my screen back up. Hold on. Bring my screen back up. Everybody got that? Let me go here and make sure everybody got that. All right, so let's keep it going. I'm gonna answer the stall letter question too. I got you guys. Here's one from Archie. Archie says, when are we gonna add check systems? We can do that. So very simple. If you send an email to info@disputepanda.com with that request or what you want to see, just let us know. Like if you shoot a Loom video, say, hey, I think you guys should add this for these reasons. Every 2 weeks or so, we vote on what gets added in. Right. So we don't have no problem doing that. We just need to know what you would use that for. What would you do with it, if that makes sense? Then we vote on it and then we add it in. Like literally everything you guys see is because somebody asked for it. This is a good one. Let's get into this one. How do you remove incorrect personal data from the credit report? How long does it take? Is it guaranteed Dispute Panda will work? Okay. Personal information. There's 3 ways you can do it, Matthew. You can have your client call. And so you can have your client call and say, hey, my name is XYZ. Please ensure that only ABCD is listed on my credit report. This is where I work. This is my current address. This is my name, how it should be. I actually encourage you to do that, whether it's for yourself or you have a client. This gets them in the mix as well, right? Number 2 is you can, let me share this window here. Number 2, while you do that with your client, let me take your chat down. While you do that with your client, you also can come in here and you want to make sure that you have, let me bring up the right screen. You want to make sure that you have 3 forms of ID. Valid driver's license or state ID with the name on it that matches. A utility bill. Everybody got a cell phone bill with the matching name and a matching address from that driver's license. If your client has a driver's license, and the SSN with a matching name on it. The name should match across all those 3 documents. The address should match across the ID as well as the billing. Right? Once you got that, you can do this here. You can go to start new round, and then you can send a free static letter, which is the personal information letter here. Now, personal information letters, attacks, phone calls, they're requests, right? The credit bureaus have a lot of data points on where they get this information from, but they're requests. But if your client calls and says that, before you start your attacks, if you have all the right documentation matching the name and address, and I would say typically 7 or 14 days before you send off an attack to the credit bureaus, you do this. And then, of course, you can do the Experian backdoor. Don't have enough time to show you how to do that here. Google it, TikTok it, YouTube it. You can do the Experian backdoor. Those 3 methods at the same time generally get the personal identifiers cleaned up pretty well. Now, if it doesn't happen in the first 14 days, should you not send off attacks? No, absolutely you should. Right? Every attack within Dispute Panda does still attack the personal identifiers as well. And it matches what you have on the client profile. So if your client profile has the exact personal identifiers that you want shown on the report, that's what goes into the letter within Dispute Panda. Great question, by the way. Everybody clear on that? Everybody clear on that? Oops. Well, let me get it together. Is everybody clear on that? Taylor May said, I want to send it to checks. Yeah. Okay, here's another question from Christian. Is Dispute Panda working on AI chatbots to answer questions about credit repair for clients and business owners? That was something that we discussed. We wanted to stay on our lane though, Christian, right? Because what we don't want to. Here's the thing: when you are building anything or software, think of it like your services, right? Your credit repair services. The moment you add budgeting, investing to it, it complicates the offer, right? So it was something that we considered, but you're only going to be as successful as the things you say no to. So we want to focus more so on adding the letter side of the house now, tightening up things on the CRM side so you guys have a more complete system. And then once all those things are clicking and moving fast, how they need to move, we're going to reiterate, come back and say, okay, what are some other additional things that we can add on? Because to be honest, adding a chat bot to answer questions about credit repair, it's a different offer. Let's just put it that way. Totally different offer than what we're doing here. So it was on the table, but it's probably not coming anytime soon, if I'm going to be honest with you. Robert says, how much does Dispute Panda cost? Static letters are 100% free. I'll just show you here. Let's just share the screen. Let me go here. Hold on for a second. It's not taking me to where I need to go. Hold on. Why is it not allowing me to do this now? If you click on the balance button and it's acting up, my screen is acting up, I probably gotta end up logging out. The static attacks are free. It's $0 to generate a static attack, as you saw me just do. Paid attacks are $17 that goes to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. If you're using Credit Dyno, you don't pay for any attack going to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. If you want to mail through the system, you do have to pay for your mailing, right? The mailing goes to United States Postal Service. So you either can download and mail on your own, and that's fine, or you can add credits to mail through the system. If you're using another monitoring outside of Credit Dyno, you will be paying $17 for an attack. Now, here's the thing, though. There's different tiers. If you put 250 non-refundable, non-expiring credits into the system, your attack cost goes down to 17. Well, why does that happen? Because we give you bonus credits. I'm sorry, it goes down to 14. So you can get your attack cost as low as free to $17, free to $17, right? You have a tier in there that gets it down to like $12. If you put $250 in, it's $14. If you use Credit Dino, it's free. Here's another angle that you can do. If you are an affiliate of Credit Dino, one, you get free attacks, but then you're also going to get between $8 and $22 for commission. So technically, you'll be net positive at the end of it by simply just using a better credit monitoring. Ta-da. Once again, you heard it first. What Soldierberry say? We were the first credit repair software for CROs to be 100% free. The first credit repair software for CROs to be 100% free. Another question from Robert. When is it more effective to add factual dispute, and when is it most effective? So for factual disputing and consumer law disputes, it is extremely beneficial when you move it to when you're challenging late payments. As of right now, the Panda AI version 2 is going for deletion for everything in red. There are some scenarios where you may not want the item to be deleted. I showed you an example there, right? You may want to go into factual disputing or consumer law mode for that. Number two, another time where sometimes it makes sense to go into factual dispute mode is if you have a scenario where the credit bureaus have stalled, right? And we're going to get into that in a second. But factual disputing can also be your method of verification requests, your failure to respond requests, you getting very particular about how those late payments coming up on your report. It all works, right? When you want to sue the credit bureau, say you send in a dispute 30 days ago, you know it got there, and the credit bureaus do not put the dispute status as in dispute. Technically, you have a violation that you can go directly after. It's extremely situational. I'm a fan of everything works. Let's just put it that way, right? If I'm cutting down a tree, I'm cutting down this credit tree. Don't just give me a nail file. Don't give me a hacksaw. Give me all the tools in my arsenal so I can win. It grinds my gears when people say factual disputing don't work. Since when does facts not work? Somebody put that in the chat. Since when does facts not work? You ever try to argue with your significant other without having facts? You taking an L. So factual disputing works extremely well when you got facts. Does that make sense? Righteous blasphemy. So you said, where is Robert in the chat? There was a form. Let's put it here. There was an email sent out to everyone with a survey form. A lot of our Dispute Panda users voted on the name of this. They also put in their most pressing question as well. So the questions you're seeing here are from the people who put their stuff on the forum when we initially sent that email out. I'm going to double back to the chat. But 9 times out of 10, they probably have the question. They have a lot of questions from the forum that you probably going to ask in the chat anyway. And we got some of the customer service reps in there too. They're going to be answering as much as they can as well. Here we go. I saw this one in there. What is Metro 2? So I want you to think of this for a second. When, I got my little credit card thingy here. When furnishers like American Express communicate with the credit bureaus, they do it through the Metro 2 format. So all the things that you see in your credit report, the name, the addresses, the account names, the late payment, that comes over in a alphanumeric code on the back end. It doesn't come across like that, right? So it's a code. So when they're sending over all the statements to Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Innovis, they're sending it over in Metro 2 format. It's the standard to simplify the reporting of data. It's the compliance standard that data furnishers use to supply data to the credit bureaus. It's the language that EOSTR speaks. So just think of it as that way. Even when you send over, I'll just leave it at that. There you go. It's the language that data furnisher speaks when they send things to the credit bureau. The big four. There's about a 355-page document. They have a 2023 guide. You can probably go, if you go on Google, you can find a 2020 guide, and it breaks down everything that essentially what I just said. So when you see on your letters, base sector field, blah, 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 header record code, that's all Metro 2 coding. When you send the Supreme boosted in the Supreme letter. Standard's been around for a while. Darren says, how do we address the secondary credit bureaus when they ask for supporting documentation that we already sent? So this is a stall. You got to keep in mind, it costs them a lot of money. It costs them a lot of money to essentially respond to you, right? And a lot of times this stuff be automated. The CFPB did a report on how the credit bureaus just send out automated replies. So it's the same scenario. So what would I do? I will take the same letter, download it, and mail it again. I will take the same letter, download it, and mail it again. So if NFS, LexisNexis, yada, yada, yada is acting a certain way, that's what I would do. Let me get some water, y'all. One second. All right. I think I know who this is. KP says, how soon would Dispute Panda be able to sync with other systems in terms of CRM functionality, clients, calendar communication, etc.? You can do that in Dispute Panda Pro. Dispute Panda Pro has a Zapier integration, which allows you to do that. So if you got Dispute Panda Pro, you get this API key. You can connect to over everything you can send with Zap. You can do it now with inside of Dispute Panda Pro. So Pro is, so if you think of Dispute Panda, it's your attack engine. Pro is everything around it. It's your secure client portal. It's your re-import summary. It's the messaging between you and the client. If you want to set up, for example, reports and subscriptions, for example, you want to do payment forms, right? You can connect your merchant account in here. If you go to disputepanda.com/proven payments, you can get your merchant account. You can create forms. You can create subscriptions. You can do all that within Pro. Some people don't want a CRM. We get that. Some people don't have 20, 30, 40, 50 clients where they need to do all these communications. So maybe they don't need Pro to set up like this. For example, let me open this up here really quickly. See this form? Even got a built-in web form. If you don't have a website and you just want to send that link to your client, boom, they can sign up. They can pay you immediately. All you got to do is connect your the merchant account stuff. Say you just want to have an onboarding form, right? You don't want to collect payments. You just want the client to be able to just give you their information. You come in there, put your email in, blah, blah, blah. Now they can onboard right into your system. So all the stuff that you were doing as far as, all the stuff that you was doing where you were adding a client and all this other jazz, you don't have to do that because you have safe client access. So when you want to use your zaps and all that stuff, you can come in here to integrations and you can just zap it over. That's Dispute Panda Pro for you. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to have training for it. Yes, there's going to be videos for it. Yes, there's going to be Dispute Panda Pro specific lives. All that is coming. Here we go. Here we go. This is what y'all been waiting for, right? This the one? Is this the one? Jacqueline, the official Dispute Panda community group will be coming in 40 days. We're not building on any social media platforms. We are not a fan of building our house on someone else's land. Say that with me in chat. Don't build your house on land you don't own. Say that with me in chat. Don't build a house on land you don't own. Don't build a house on land you don't own. It will not be on Facebook. There are no official Dispute Panda groups on Facebook. It will be on a platform that we own 100%. Worst case scenario, Facebook comes out, loses flavor. Worst case scenario, Facebook goes away. Worst case scenario, they stop promoting groups. Now you don't have any reach. You don't own it. You don't own it. Never. Don't build a house on land you don't own. And I say that with everything. When you're building your businesses, don't build interdependencies that you're going to be married to some of these interdependencies now. You'll be silly. You put all this work in, somebody can take it from you like that. And I was a victim of being banned from Instagram for a year. Can't have that. Don't want that for y'all. Be worst case scenario, I can't reach you. Okay, let's get this question answered. What is the best and most effective way to deal with credit reporting agency stall letters? So everything I'm going to tell you here, if you ever were to email support at info@disputepanda.com, they are going to break down this process for you. Step number 1, if you're communicating with your client, you need to tell them that the credit bureaus will stall. In my experience, I've seen them stall 2 to 3 times. Maybe not back to back, but 2 to 3 times. So the first thing that helps out tremendously is what I was saying when you're cleaning up the personal information. What are you sending with your attacks? Are you sending a driver's license? Are you sending a SSN? Are you sending a bill, all with matching name and matching address? That's number 1. So how we start also helps. Number 2, if you've done that and they still are stalling, right? If you ever read the letter, it says, oh, you're working with a credit clinic. I've seen this happen when I've handwritten. I've seen this happen with me just sending in loose leaf paper. It's automatic. What the credit bureaus are doing is they're sending these letters out to anyone and everyone in hopes that you go to their website and use their automated tools instead of sending in paperwork. So when you explain this to your client, this is what they want to do. They want to cause uncertainty. Every letter, every attack within Dispute Panda, if you look at the bottom of it, has verbiage that says, I know y'all doing this already. Stop it. They're still going to do it. They are a $1 billion company who spends, are they a $1 billion company? At least multi-million-dollar company who spends an enormous amount of money in just processing mail. So once you understand, okay, I know what you're going to do, how do we counteract that? Number 1, we make sure we're sending in proper documentation. Let me bring up the documentation screen here. Oops, wrong one. Bring up the documentation screen here. Here we go. If we send proper documentation, that helps us out. Number 2, when they stall us out, I prefer doing this exact method here. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you. This is exactly what you do. You add this on here really quickly. Oops. If I just sent out attack 9, right? I just did all these. My disputing tab might already be selected. So whatever was in my disputing tab that I didn't get a response for from that particular bureau, let's just say it was these 3 items. I'm going to hit save filter, start new round, static letter, failure to respond. Why am I doing this? FCRA 611, you have 30 days to respond to a dispute. If I sent something on the 1st and it got there on the 7th, you have 30 days from that time frame to send me something. That could be either in the mail. Sometimes they send it via email because, sometimes you or your client might have opted into something, but they should be responding by that time period. If you did not get something in the mail or a response to that time period, I'm sending a failure to respond letter to put them on notice that, hey, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. I'm going to send that failure to respond letter certified, and then I'm going to download it. I'm going to download the last attack. I'm going to go to the CFPB and say, listen, I sent this attack on this date. They did not respond per the FCRA 611. Here's what they sent me. Here's my failure to respond letter. Do something about it. Here's another thing that people don't realize. There's nothing in the FCRA. Nothing in the FCRA. Well, first of all, is everybody clear on what to do if you get a stall letter? You send the free static failure to respond letter, upload it to the CFPB. Case in point, also, if you want these steps, step by step on what to do, and the summary from the report from the CFPB on all these stall tactics that the credit bureaus are doing, send the email to info@disputepanda.com. Say, hey, I got a stall letter, and they will send you what I just said in written procedures. Is everybody clear on the failure to respond method? Everybody clear on this failure to respond method? Everybody clear on this failure to respond? Everybody clear on the failure to respond method to attack the stalls? Some people say, "Oh, keep attacking, keep attacking." Well, why not use the law against them, right? Because that failure to respond letter is citing the law. It's factual and consumer law. It's citing in there. Hey, I sent the attack. Per the law, you were supposed to do something. You didn't do it. I sent proper ID. And I sent you my last attack. And I'm sending it certified so I know you got it. And I'm going to escalate it straight to the CFPB. See, a lot of people just go to the CFPB. They put their complaints in. You want to, before you do that, you want to set up a case. Maybe you even say, you know what? I'm going to send 2 rounds and then a failure to respond. And then I can go to the CFPB, right? And if you do those 2 things, plus the failure to respond, you probably have a case where you can go straight to, now you can go to a lawyer and say, look what I did. And they have not responded to me. You can make a lot of money per violation if you speak to a pre-litigation person. They'll tell you. Most people who do pre-litigation, they send 1 round, and as soon as they stop playing funny, they suing. So you're mixing and matching your styles here. I know some people who go 2 rounds before they do this, and then they go straight. Okay, I know some people who do 3 rounds, but generally, mix and match. Somebody said in there, the laws governs all events. Absolutely. Let's use the law. I'll do the same thing. I'll do the same thing in here. If you got a, I don't want to remove this layer. If you sent out an attack, right, and you got something deleted, instead of you sending another round, if your client or you didn't get notified 5 days before they put it back onto your account, send a reinsertion letter. That cites the law. Hey, you were supposed to notify me 5 days before you put that back. What are you doing? If something comes back verified, you have a couple options you can take. You can say, you know what? I want to continue attacking. You can just keep attacking if you want to. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to use the law. I'm going to come here and use method of verification. So when we say most effective, most advanced system, it's because we don't try to say nothing. We don't say factual disputing or consumer law doesn't work. It does work. The problem was in other systems, it was just so tedious. We all know the system where, you upload somebody with a lot of negatives and a lot of inquiries. It's going to take you 30 minutes before you can even get to the window. And then what happens is you're using the same template letters that you heard from a guru online because it takes so long to do the work. Our goal is to make your life easier so you can help more people. I'm going to interject here. I'm going to hop right into the chat because Mike Jones Said Mike Jones got a good he got a good question. Hold on, let me get my screens right. Let me remove this out of here. Remove from the scene. This is a good question from Mike Jones. What to do if they open up another dispute when you send an MOV letter? They will open up another dispute when you send an MOV letter. Now, keep in mind, when you look at the FCRA, Section 611, and this is why you want to space out your challenging every 35 days or so, right? 35 days from when it was delivered. Because if you challenge the same item again within that 30-day period, come on now, somebody tell me what they do. What do they do if you challenge the same item within that 30-day window? What have you given them? What have you given them if you challenge an item again within that 30-day window? What happens? Come on now, chat. Oops, hold on. Let me get my screens together. Come on, chat. What happens? Where my laws at? Where my law-abiding people at? You sue. No, it's Barry. All right, so Mike, this is what happens. The reason why you want to do 35-day cycles, that's why the attack guy says 35-day cycles, because if you have, there we go. There go my people go. Okay, you give them additional 15 days. So you always want to wait the 35-day period. You don't want to get too antsy now. Why give them more time? Don't give them more time. Wait the full 35 days. Sometimes, you know what's funny? You know what happens sometimes? Sometimes when you send off an attack, within 10 days, they send you the stall letter stuff. But then you might realize, okay, around the 30-day period, they sent me real results. So what are they doing? They playing games. They want to see what you're going to do. It's boxing. It's boxing. They are the Floyd Mayweather of this credit stuff. It's boxing. Don't give them extra time. Wait the full 35. So you know for a fact they're under the FCRA 611 that their 30 days has elapsed and they're good. Now there is some language in there if you want to be fancy. There is some language in there if you want to be fancy that said they have to do something within 15 days of receiving the dispute. But I'm gonna let you. We're gonna save that for another. We're gonna save that for another time. But they're supposed to notify creditors within, I believe, 5 days of receiving a notice. And then they're supposed to furnish something within 15 days also. Maybe not the full results, but there's some wording in there that can make it a bit. Read the FCRA. I will say that. All the stuff you see in here is based off of that. We're not going to hit you with I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah. Digital footprint, Dom, digital footprint. So before I move on to the next question, are we all clear on the whatchamacallit? Are we all clear on what to do if you receive a stall letter? Nicole said false. What are you saying false to, Nicole? If you look at section 611 of FCRA, you've given them additional 15 days to do more info. They get 15 more days. They don't get a full 30, but they do get 15 more days on the investigation. All right. Let's answer this question. What makes Dispute Panda stand out better than the other credit repair services and other credit repair softwares? I'm going to say this. One, we listen. When I say we listen, we listen. What you see inside of Dispute Panda now came from you guys. It either came from your complaints or it came from your praises. And I think some softwares or some people, I can't speak for somebody else. I can't speak for other people, but I think people, when people complain, they take that as like a knock against them. Whereas we look at it like, thank you for telling us how to be better. That's number one. Number two, I would say our goals are different. Once again, can't speak for anybody else, but how we move is very, very procedural, very strategic. Number 3, speed. I don't know any other credit software who built what we built since September of 2022. It took certain softwares 9 years to accomplish what we've done, and they're still slower. Number 4, education like this. I don't know any other softwares who can get onto a 2-hour plus broadcast, go question for question, bar for bar, without being pre-planned. This is live. And number 4, I would say just a mix of the tools that you have, right? You have Metro 2, you got Factual, you got Consumer Law, and it's fast. It's fast, man. Less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. And then the last thing I would say is just, I think we just got swag, man. I just think we got swag. You know, that's all I can say. That's all I can say. Renee said, even if they respond, do you wait 35 days as well? So Renee, if they responded, you don't have to wait 35 days, right? Because they're responding to your initial dispute. That means that notice has closed. And some of you got a phone call. Like some of y'all got a phone call directly from an executive and work something out right there. So I would say, we just trying to improve. I know we're not perfect. We don't claim to be, but we're working towards perfection, right? We just want to get a 0.5% better each day. That's it. And the more you guys complain or the more you guys praise, the more we're going to do. All right. So here's one right here. Here's a great question. Are we going to have one-click options for other credit report providers? We are in talks. That's how I'll leave at that. We're open to everyone. We are open to everyone. We hope other credit report providers would step up and sponsor attacks for everybody. We're open to that. Contact whoever you want. Contact whoever you work with. Say, listen, contact Dispute Panda and pay for our attacks. We would love that. Why not? So I would say this, we're open. And in some of them, we're in talks, but it got to make sense. It got to make sense. So if things don't align, I get it. Most of these, they got business to do. I understand that completely. They got business to do. So maybe they don't want to work with us. Maybe we're too new. I don't know. Ask them. But we're open. We're open. We're open to everything. Fastest way to see results. Fastest way to see results is number 1, how you got to do the pre-work, right? Make sure you got the proper documentation going in there. Make sure your client or you are providing your current address, your current information, 3 forms of ID. Clean up your personal information. Attack the secondary bureaus, right? Do those things the first 15 days. If you have debt collections, send your debt validation letters out. Work those static letters before you send off an attack. Do the pre-work before you send off an attack. Your personal information should be squeaky clean as much as you can get it. Call them up, Experian backdoor, send the personal information letter off, right? Attack those secondaries. We got a lot of them in there, right? So if I bring this up here, when you go down here, you go to your static letters. If you got a public record, you can send a bankruptcy court letter. I know, here's another update. We just dropped a goodwill and a pay for delete letter. So I know Santana was asking about that earlier. Will we ever have a pay for deletion letter? We got that in there. So if you have debt collections, right? You might want to send a cease and desist refusal to pay to the debt collector so they can stop calling you, stop harassing you. And that also gives you a little bit of leg up when you're challenging stuff with the bureaus. Because if a debt collector receives a cease and desist refusal to pay or debt validation, they're supposed to validate the debt before they respond to the credit bureau. Do the pre-work. You should be sending debt validations letters to every single last debt collector, as long as, it's not too crazy of a debt. You don't want to poke a bear, right? But generally, debt under $1,000, they probably are not rushing to take you to the courthouse or your client to the courthouse unless it's like Capital One. They are super petty. Or Amex, right? So you can send off your bankruptcy court letter. Right, that's when you send the things off to you got public records, send off to the bankruptcy court, so they can say, hey, yeah, we don't report to everybody, because the LexisNexis or the credit bureau is going to say we verified this through the courts. Do your personal information letter, and then you have all these secondary bureaus which you can attack, not freeze. Right, you got your LexisNexis, you got your Innovis, your LCI, and when you hit this I here, it breaks down what they hold. So LexisNexis also has public record information. Do the pre-work. That's why all these letters are free. These are all free static letters in here. It's the same way you get results from working out. How do I get the best? If I'm working out every day, how do I get the best results from my workout? Let me get 8 hours of sleep. Let me eat balanced meals. Let me lower my stress levels. Let me not drink alcohol. It's the pre-work that gets you the results. And then once you send something off, you're looking at, okay, what response did I get now, right? What response did I get? Did I get a stall letter? Then you follow a stall letter procedure. Did it get deleted? Yes. Was it verified? Boom, I can do a method of verification if I wanted to, or I can send off another attack. Did I get something deleted, wasn't reinserted? Boom, I can come in here and I can do my reinsertion letter. You see what I'm doing? So you have pre-work, then I send my attack and I wait my 35 days or so. And then I'm basically waiting, like, what did they do? Was it deleted? Was it verified? Did they stall me out? Did they do a no response? Those are the only 4 responses you get. So pre-work, do the work, wait, see what they did. It's like boxing. If I throw out a jab or a right cross, I'm seeing what you're doing. Everybody clear on that? Everybody clear on that? Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Can I get some pandas in the chat if I'm giving value? Am I giving value? Am I answering the questions that y'all wanted to hear? Was it a question that I missed? Can I get a value? If I'm giving value, let me get a value. Give yourself a round of applause. The goal is to make the free better than they're paid. The goal is to make the free better than they're paid. Pandas in the chat, I love it. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to keep it going on the questions. How effectively dispute bankruptcies in future rounds? So bankruptcies are public records, right? Everybody see this question? Anybody else? Anybody else had this question in the chat? Bankruptcies. Anybody had this question in the chat? Oh, I got Miss Yolanda said tremendous value. See, I didn't went from Charlemagne to The Rock to Tyrese. Who else y'all call me? Value plus funny. Hey, Aisha, you hit it right there on the head, right? Is one thing to bring value, right? They may out-educate me, but you gonna get this work on this personality. You gonna get this work on this out-personality me. That's all. If you got, you gonna get air horns for personality. Air horns for personality. As I said, this stuff ain't gotta be boring now, baby. This stuff ain't gotta be boring. This stuff does not have to be boring. Air horns for personality. All right, let's get into it. How to effectively dispute bankruptcies in future rounds. Great question. Great question. So first and foremost, a bankruptcy is a public record, right? That means it's going to be in public databases. You're going to have to deal with Pacer. You're going to have to deal with LexisNexis. You're going to have to deal with all these secondary bureaus and all these data creeps out there. And even if you get the bankruptcy deleted and you try to get a house, you still have to put on your paperwork that you filed bankruptcy because you don't want to get messed up. And they're going to find it. It's going to be in the public record. Now, what can you do to get this thing removed from the credit bureaus, right? There's a lot of little things that you can do here. But first and foremost, what I would suggest that you start with is, let me get this banner out the way. I would definitely suggest you start with cleaning up the personal information, of course, as best as you can. And then the bankruptcy court letter, right? So this is where you find out where the bankruptcy occurred, and then you're going to send this document off to the courts. That's one. And you can use either handwritten. Since this is going to the courts, you don't have to use handwritten fine here. And then I will also challenge the bankruptcy with the secondary bureaus, LexisNexis, Innovis, LCI, ARS, I believe. There might be one more on this list, but you got to click the I's. So then I'm hitting up the secondary bureaus. And I'm going to probably wait the 15 days, just like normal, before going into my attack mode with the credit bureaus. So there's several ways you can get things removed from a credit report, right? There is getting things removed factually based off finding a compliance issue or a issue that way. And then there's what I call information-based disputes, right? Like, okay, I know I went through a bankruptcy, but is the credit bureau going to respond within a 30-day time period after they get this attack, right? Is the credit bureau doing everything they're supposed to do according to the laws, even if it's this accurate or not? You see what I mean? So it may not come off round one. It may not come off round two. It may not come off round three, but I'm following that procedure and I'm just waiting. If I send you a tag, are you sending me responses back in the mail? And then as you get deeper into the rounds, you may actually want to separate the bankruptcies out. So this is where your punch of fury and your round kick comes into play, right? Because your public records will have their own letter. They're not clumped in with all the other attacks like you do with the nerve attack and the pinwheel. So outside of the personal information cleanup, outside of the bankruptcy letter, outside of the secondary letters, I'm leaning towards punch of fury and round kicks to have those public records stand out on their own versus with other accounts. So one thing that worked out extremely well, and if you don't have a lot of accounts, if you have less than 6, you probably can go straight to paralyzing touch points. But what helped out a whole lot is keeping them separate, attacking those separately instead of bulked in together. Now, if you are running a business, of course, you got to do what you got to do for your business. Some people like to clump everything up, right? So they like to run nerve attacks or the pinwheels. But if you want to be effective, you want to have that bankruptcy separated on its own. Hopefully that was clear too. Oops. Let me get hold on. Where'd I go? There we go. I just say, what we going on here? Let me switch up my screens. So I don't want to be on red. Let's go to, nope. Let's go blue. Everybody clear on the bankruptcy procedure? Hold on for a second. Just answer this one here. Lux, is it effective if we did Supreme Boosted each time? I wouldn't recommend it. So even though you can spam the Supreme Boosted, it's in your best interest to vary it, right? You want to do some plain Janes with a handwritten font. You don't necessarily have Metro 2 logic on every time. It's not Frank Red Hot. You don't put that thing on everything. You want to vary it up. You want to show them different looks. If we're boxing, I'm not just going to throw all power punches now. That's why when you look at the attack guide, it varies. That varies for a reason. That's why after the last 6 months of testing, you add the handwritten font. Let's switch it up. Let's show them a different look, right? Even though it's effective, but if the words are changing, just change the look of the style. You want to stay one step ahead of the bureaus. You don't want to keep showing. You don't keep throwing right hooks. We fighting. We're fighting. I'm keep throwing the right hook. I'm gonna see it. They're gonna slip it. And they're gonna knock you out. It's not Frank Red's Hot. You don't put that thing on everything. You're being very aggressive, Lux. You're being very aggressive. Here's another one here. Torian. Question: with the credit monitoring, does Dispute Panda show before and after results, which shows the client how many accounts got removed and how many points their credit increases? That is a Dispute Panda Pro feature. That is a Dispute Panda Pro feature. So Pro is the re-import summary. Pro is the CRM. Pro is the tools when, hey, I no longer just want, I want more than a tax, right? That's when you go to Dispute Panda Pro. Dispute Panda Pro is $197 flat. Unlimited clients, unlimited everything. So technically, you could technically have a credit repair software that does everything for you for $197. So if you use Credit Dyno and Dispute Panda Pro, you will have a credit repair software that does everything for you for $197, and you have unlimited attacks. You can have 1,000 clients. As long as they're using Credit Dyno, you're getting a free attack every time. Dwayne said, man, you went in. One time for Dwayne. Look, first of all, can I put some? If I'm giving value, can I get some pandas in the chat if I'm giving value? Because I want to earn this air horn. I don't want to keep pressing it unless y'all saying I'm giving value. If I'm giving value, can I get some pandas in the chat, please? If I'm giving value, can I get some pandas in the chat? Oh, I earned air horn. Let me get the air horn. Round of applause for y'all too, man. Round of applause for y'all too. All right. How much for Credit Dyno? So fair game credit repair, you can have from $19.99 all the way up to $49.99. It's on you. If you're a credit repair organization, if you check out that Credit Dyno video, you can send an email to support@creditdyno.com. They'll break down all their affiliate commissions and everything like that. They do have the highest affiliate commissions inside the industry, as well as if you go to that training tab and look at the that video, I'll break it down in there as well, right? So most people use a $29.99 plan, 7-day trial. You got that too. You're just gonna make more money, and you're gonna have your attacks for free. So whatever everyone else is doing, you can get it at Credit Dyno, and then you're going to get more money, and you're going to actually have a portal, and you actually going to get paid on time. That was another thing. You know, digital footprint, Dom. Digital footprint. We vibrating high. I'm going to keep vibrating high. I know we 2.5 hours in. I feel like we know each other. I feel like we cousins, but digital footprint. I said what I said. I'm going to leave it at that. I think I answered your question. Panda is not letting you sign up. Send an email to info@disputepanda.com. They'll get you right. Yeah, let me not say everything. You know, sometimes I'm comfortable with you guys now, right? So I'm getting too comfortable. And, you know, I don't want to speak like, you know, this is live. This is recorded. There we go. Ooh, this is a good one. Is it best to use clients' addresses when submitting to all 3 credit bureaus? I'm assuming you're referring to the envelopes, right? Where you can use the return to, you can address the letter as if it came from the credit bureaus. In testing, that worked if they were to, at one point in time, the credit bureaus were not responding to disputes. They were just returning them. And when that occurred, they will return it back to the address. Well, if you have the credit bureau's address on it, it'll just return it to the credit bureau's address. You can mix and match it. I would say the best thing you can do is test. You can never go wrong with keeping the address as the client. But so say you do a test of, 3 to 6 months of one way and do another test of 3 to 6 months another way. You can determine what makes the most sense. Generally, we've seen favorable results round 1 with it, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. I mean, it's negligible by doing it. What really gets you the results is what I said earlier, right? Making sure that you have done the proper cleanup, making sure that you are sending the personal information that matches on the profile, making sure that the address matches your identification documentation, making sure that you are attentive to that 35-day time frame. Did they respond? Did they not respond? And then following up properly. But it's like a 1 to 2% difference, so it doesn't really make a difference, to be honest. Here we go with Tracy. Let me get another screen here. Oops. What am I doing? Let me take this off. Nope. Let me get another screen. I'm trying to get my screens right, y'all. I'm trying to be fancy. There we go. Once you have called the credit bureaus and they cleaned up some of the personal information, do we need to wait 15 days before sending the personal information letter? So Tracy, no. I actually prefer you do them all at the same time, right? So you just got your credit dyno credit report. You import it into Dispute Panda. I'm sending off my personal information letter. I'm calling the next day. I'm doing the Experian backdoor the next day as well. I'm doing them boom, boom, boom. Because by day 15, I want to be at least sending out my tax to the credit bureaus, right? So if I'm doing personal identifiers, secondary bureaus, debt validation letters 1 through 10, then 10 to 15, I want to be attacking the credit bureaus by that time. And if you do strike gold and you get them to remove something immediately, great. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing all 3 methods in succession as time permits, right? As a business owner, you got to do what you got to do if you're doing this for other people, right? Because, once you get to 20, 30, 40, 50 clients, you might need to start offsetting having the your clients call the credit bureaus versus you. Here's a good one. Why is Dispute Panda not allowing me to upload my credit reports? Chances are either you're doing a PDF or you're not following the procedure. But things do happen sometimes. If you send the email over to info@disputepanda.com, they literally will either do it for you or show you exactly how to do it so it never does it again. So literally reach out to support. It's 24/7. You got a chat function. You got a support email function. Send it over to support and let them troubleshoot. If they can't fix it, it's going to go to a dev, and the dev is going to go have it fixed fairly quickly. info@disputepanda.com. Okay. Torian says, what do you mean by getting your free round? So I was alerted on this live call that the dev team rolled out an update to Dispute Panda that if you're using Credit Dyno, you do a 1-click import inside of Credit Dyno, you will get a free attack. There's no payments for the attack. You will pay for mail, but the actual generation of the attack to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion is free. Does that make sense? That effectively means if you're using Credit Dyno and Dispute Panda, you are using your credit repair software 100% free. No monthly payment, no nothing. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So if you're a credit repair company and you're charging whatever you charge, your client has to have credit monitoring anyway. So not only will you get a commission by having them as an active credit monitoring client. So say you're charging $29.99 and you're getting $12 net commission. That's just an example's sake. You're getting $12 in your bank account for your client using Credit Dyno. And then when you upload the credentials inside of Dispute Panda with Credit Dyno, you're getting a free attack. So your expenses just went down to nothing. Like free. Now you paying, if you want to use the mailing system, cool. You'll pay for mail. I get that. I understand that. Everybody pays for mail. You either going to pay with time, you either licking stamps. That's going to look crazy on the playback. Either you're licking stamps or you're going to use the system to do it yourself. Now, Aisha, it's cool. Aisha, it's cool. Here's the thing, though. And it's reoccurring, guys. From what I was told, the next month, every 35 days, you get the free attack, right? So if that same client keeps active credit monitoring and you hit that re-import button again and it re-imports in, it gives you another free attack. So you can use IQ, you can use Consumer Direct or Smart Credit and all their white labels. You can use those. You can. But, to send Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, you're going to pay the $17 or so, right? You can definitely use those. If you want to use the system 100% free, just use Credit Dyno. Exactly. You're only importing every 35 days. Now, if you guys are interested in the hold on, let me show you where you can find the right on this very YouTube channel, right? There's some new trainings that were released, right? Consumer Direct did do a little bit of changes to their how you import their credit monitoring. So if you want to know Credit Dyno, this is the first one right on the training tab. So if you go to disputepanda.com, you go to training, you see the Credit Dyno one. You scroll down a bit, you see the Identity IQ, My Score IQ, and Smart Credit. All of these are updated procedures that show you how to do it step by step. If you're interested in being a Credit Dyno affiliate, right? So you can send your if you go to your dashboard, if you click on, there's going to be a link to say become affiliate. You can fill out your information. You become an affiliate instantly. They send you an email. If you want to know the additional plans for Credit Dyno, just send an email to support@creditdyno.com. They'll get you together. All right, so let's keep it going. Whew. All right, from Matthew. Equifax is wiped clean. However, Experian and TransUnion were stubborn, leaving a few collection accounts. Do you have a letter to leverage the Equifax Credit Bureau against Experian and TransUnion? So this is a great question, right? Each of the credit bureaus operate independently. It would be too much like right if they shared information, if one just did everything. Like they all they're all independent data brokers of sorts, right? They collect information, they sell information. There's just 3 different companies that do it. Chances are you might have got Equifax to do an investigation. Experian and TransUnion might have stalled you out. So what do you do in an instance? Here's a pop quiz. If Equifax sent you results, if Equifax sent you deletions, right? Experian says verified and TransUnion didn't respond. What do you think your next course of action with Experian and TransUnion will be? Experian said verified and TransUnion didn't respond. What do you do for Experian and TransUnion? Put the answer in the chat. I covered it several times. What do you do for Experian if they didn't respond? Or at TransUnion, if they sent you a verified? I might have just switched it up. But one of them sent you verified, and then one of them didn't respond. What are you supposed to do? One got deletions, one said verified, one didn't respond. Exactly. You guys are already saying the thing. So you got to think of it this way. You're fighting 3 different people. Yes, you can press a button and you mail it off to 3 different places, but you're going to have 3 different responses because they're going to do 3 different investigations. Does that make sense? So it's a scenario where you are literally waiting to see what they do. If they don't respond, I do my failure to response procedure. If they give me a verification, I'm doing my MOV procedure. If they do if I got deletions, yay. I'm moving on. I'm attacking on the next one. Or you can even say, you know what? For the first 2 rounds, I don't care what they do. I'm going to attack. I'm gonna use my third round to determine if I'm gonna do a MOV, failure to respond, or anything like that, because I want to have a little bit more data. Or you can do what some other people do. They just keep attacking. I prefer to do a little defense. It's only gonna be 2 rounds before you're only gonna stall me out twice before. Okay, that's what we doing. I give you 2 good times. 2 good times before I'm moving on to that procedure I told you I'd do. Well, how many more of these I got? Damn, I got a lot of questions. Taking too long. Do I have to change email when I dispute for the first month to refresh and update credit reports when changes are made? So if you are using Credit Dyno, after 35 days, you can just hit the re-import button and it automatically does it. If you're using Smart Credit or Identity IQ, you do have to log into those systems and re-upload to see to see the changes and things like that. Well, I'm sorry. You also will have to have, if you want to see like the re-import summary, that's the Dispute Panda Pro product, right? So you have to have Dispute Panda Pro if you wanted to have a re-import summary and the updates tab and all the other jazz. Kawana says, I really don't have any questions right now, only that DP has been a guy sent to me. Here's my questions, y'all. How many of y'all in the chat still, because we still got a good number of people here. How many of y'all in the chat didn't know all the capabilities of Panda, right? If you didn't know you can do all of this with Dispute Panda, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Did I show you something that you didn't know? Did I show you something with Dispute Panda that you weren't aware of tonight? Did I show you something with Dispute Panda that you weren't aware of tonight? Did you learn something about Dispute Panda new? Like, wow, that Tyrese Rock, Charlemagne the God looking guy really put me on game. that Charlemagne Tyrese Rock looking MFer put me. He showed me some things. They was putting us in the box. Y'all was putting us in the box, man. Y'all was making it seem like we was just a one-trick pony like the other guys, man, or the other girls. Hopefully, I explained some things and showed you some things and was real enough for you. I still got more questions. Like, I'm just going, round of applause, air horn for y'all, man. The goal is very simple. Am I leaving you better than I found you? Is the free better than their paid? Can I get some pandas in the chat if this free has been better than their paid? Also, hit the like button, subscribe. I know I'm horrible. I'm horrible with telling people to like and subscribe and things like that. I'm sorry about that. Please like and subscribe. If the free's better than their paid, drop the pandas in the chat. If the free's better than the paid, you're probably not going to be able to find the panda emoji. All right, let's keep it going. I got more questions to go. Like I told you, I'm going to be here till every single last question is answered. Can you speak to the process of what you should be doing through Dispute Panda? Are you guys doing stuff for us? I don't understand the attacks. How many rounds should we be doing? Okay, so Dispute Panda is not a credit repair service. Look at us as an extension of your arm. We're an extension of your arm, right? We help you do the things that you want to do quickly. If you were handwriting disputes, we got you. If you were sending Metro 2, we got you. If you were factual disputing, we got you. But you do it through the software. Dispute Panda is not a credit repair service. We're not an outsourcing service. We do not do any of those things. We are just a tool. We are like your car, right? You still got to drive the car. That's a good one. Sometimes I did that. We like a car, but you still got to drive it. We're a Porsche. You still got it. We're a Porsche. We're a Porsche. We're a Porsche, right? It's the ultimate. No, BMW's the ultimate driving machine. But you got to drive the Porsche, right? The more you practice, the more you understand the laws, the more confident you are, the better you can handle that Porsche, right? I'm explaining some things that you guys can do outside of just Metro 2 spamming that get you into consumer law, that get you into factual disputing, but it's a well-oiled machine, but you do everything. Now, we are going to have more education events like this where I'm empowering you and inspiring you to do better and do things like that. We realize this is why the Dispute Panda community is coming. We realize that you guys need a voice. You need somebody who's going to just give you the game, give you the information without, having a fee attached to it. That's going to be raw and authentic. So we are working on giving you more of this. So you keep winning, you keep inspiring other people, you keep helping people, you keep helping yourself. But more importantly, you have to drive this train. I don't want to say drive the boat. That's kind of crazy, but you got to drive this car. Okay. Jason says, can we send out suppression letters to third-party bureaus? I think we covered this in the Truth or Facts one. I'm assuming when you say suppression, you're talking about either opt-outs or you're talking about freezing. Within Dispute Panda, you're attacking them. You're challenging the data that they hold to get it deleted or removed. You're not suppressing. You're not opting out. You're not freezing. So when you go to that static letter section, you'll be attacking those secondary bureaus. Are you planning on adding more types of attacks? So there is a plan for a major attack upgrade. I can't say anything about it just yet. I've learned during this process as CMO not getting too far ahead of myself. I don't, funny thing is, like the moment you start telling people, oh, this is what we're going to do. Technology starts to technology, right? Things don't get launched when you start telling people when they come in. I feel confident about the community thing because, we're pretty far along. But the other thing that's coming, I don't feel confident saying it yet until we have fully tested it out. So the answer is yes. However, what you have right now is more than enough to do what you need to do. You got factual, you got consumer law, you got plain Jane letters, you got the Metro 2 letters, you got the highlights, you got handwritten fine. You have more than enough to get it done. We just added goodwill and pay for deletes, right? So more static letters will be added for sure inside of the system. But more, say, attacks to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, not until this other one is fully tested and released, which is going to be a game changer. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right, so here's a big one. Why can't I use Dispute Panda on my mobile device? So it is in the pipeline to be done. However, we had to prioritize things first, right? So at the moment, you cannot use Dispute Panda on mobile, but it is in the pipeline to be created. It is already in the works. It's already being tested. It's going to be released. It's just other things were more important for us to create. So when you're getting feedback from your customer saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to add this letter, you need to fix this, you need to fix that, we had to prioritize things, right? So stability and speed are number one. And when the code changes so much, you have to really hone in on the stability side of things. So we were focusing more on being stable and implementing things that were higher on the to-do list based off what our customers were wanting. All right, so here's a question. I think y'all know the answer to this one. I think I answered it a few times. Camille says, what is the most effective attack to use if the credit bureaus come back as verifying the items as accurate? What are you supposed to do if you get a verified response? What is one thing you can do if you get a verified response, guys, from the credit bureaus? We answered this a few times. Drop it in the chat. What do you do if you get a verified response? Oh, okay. Hold on. My bad, Miss. I got you. Oh, that's another thing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so bad at this. If you have high merchant fees, you're paying a high reserve, scan that merchant account right there. You can go to disputepanda.com/proven payments. Or even if you want to, say you want to move from another credit software and you want to move all your accounts, right? They will move them for you. They will do a merchant account analysis for you. They will show you how to integrate everything with Pro. They will move all your accounts over because, like, for example, some people are on Stripe, right? You have to call Stripe and do a procedure. Some people are on Charsby. You got to call Charsby, get the keys, move it over there, and then set everything up. They will do all that for you. So like I said, I'm horrible at promotion and all the other jazz, but some of you are paying too much in reserve. Some of you haven't. Digital footprint. Woosah. If you want to see if you are paying the lowest fees for your merchant account, scan that code. They'll do a free merchant account analysis. If they can help you, they can help you. If they can't, they can't. But if they can help you, they will. They have no problem moving everything over for you. That's another issue with some people as well, right? You're stuck on Recurly, you're stuck on Billsby, you're stuck on ChargeBee, and now that Dispute Panda has all this built in for free, you don't pay any additional for it. You're trying to figure out, well, how do I move people over? They will do it. Lux, digital footprint is crazy, right? I'm looking at this like somebody is looking at this live, upset right now. I don't want to give anybody anything. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Relax. We're vibing. First of all, round of applause for y'all, right? Here's the reason why I gotta give y'all a round of applause. We've been on this call longer than Marvel's Infinity War. Talking about credit. Talking about Dispute Panda. Right? Air horn. More fire. More fire. Let me get a fire emoji. We out here doing Marvel movies. We out here doing Marvel movies for financial literacy. You kidding me? 3 hours of heat. It's 11 o'clock. And I still got energy. I'm outside. I can keep going. What'd she say? Yours, mine, ours. I can do this for hours. Sit and talk to you for hours. I can't sing like Tyrese, though. Damn. If I could sing, y'all would be sick of me. If I could sing, y'all would be sick of me. Oh, my God. If I could sing, I will be going I'll be singing everything. Good morning. Goodbye. I'll be singing this whole freaking presentation if I could sing. On Jesus Sandals. On Sky Dad and the 12 Steppers. If I can sing, y'all will hate me. I'll be singing every single last tutorial and everything like that. Let me keep it going though. I told you I'm gonna get this personality. A lot of y'all don't know me. Y'all better get to know me. All right, so here we go. Zakia says, when sending out the first round of letters, is there a letter we can send out that advises the credit bureaus not to respond, saying they won't proceed with attacks due to how the attacks came in? So every letter says that. If you go download your letters and you look at the bottom right before your IDs, it says that, right? Here's the thing. You cannot stop the credit bureaus from violating your rights. Say it with me now. You cannot stop the credit bureaus from violating your rights. There's no law saying that you cannot use a software to do the work. There's no law saying that. Number two, even if you were to generate an attack, right? You got Credit Dino, you uploaded it, you take the words and you just write it out yourself, right? You fold it up all nice and neat, put your IDs in there and mail it, you still gonna get a stall letter. There's nothing. The only guarantee in credit repair is the improvement stuff we talked about earlier. What you can do is you can respond back properly. You can set it up. You can set up your attacks properly. I got my personal identifiers. I did my personal information stuff. I did the calling. I did the Experian backdoor. I sent the secondaries. Then I attacked. And then you can respond. You see what I mean? You can't stop them from being for violating your rights. You can't stop them from being a-holes. That's the game. It's boxing. And you're gonna realize that with some clients, you get results first round. With some clients, you don't get a response into the third round, but that's okay. You know what to do now. And if you don't know what to do, you can email info@disputepanda.com, say, hey, I got a stall letter, what do I do? And they're gonna give you a step-by-step procedure, exactly what I said in this live, that you can do. But yes, every letter, every attack to Equifax, Spirit, and TransUnion has that verbiage in it already. Jess says, how do we get an immediate update on changes without running a report again? See, that's going to be tough, right? Because every system requires you to do an import if you want to know about changes, right? So if you have Dispute Panda Pro, if you have an existing credit report in there and you're using Credit Dyno, when you hit that re-import button, your updates tab will update and let you know what has changed. If you're using another credit monitoring provider outside of Dispute Panda Credit Dyno, it's the same thing. When you hit that X button to remove that report, you import the new one. It looks at the old report versus the new report. And then it will tell you. So there's no way to get it's kind of like there's no way to know things changed unless you provide me new data, right? If you're just using the old data, how would it ever know? How would Dispute Panda or any system for that matter ever know that something changed? It won't, right? So you have to have a new report there, Jess. Lamar says, how to make a follow-ups to your clients without having to go in the system. Also streamline the process and having the clients put in their information instead of us. Lamar, that is Dispute Panda Pro, man. Like if you go into, let me share this with you really quickly. Let me bring down this banner. Let me hide the banner. All right, so say I'm gonna go to this client here. Re-import summary client. If I'm in this client here, and I just say send SCA invitation. So that's secure client access. When I send that to the client, they're going to have their own portal. It's going to show, they're going to be able to upload the documents for the driver's license and all that. It walks them through that. They're going to be able to import their credit monitoring details. Like you even going to have your affiliate link in there. So if I go in here into organization here, and I go to my affiliate links, you can drop in your affiliate links and this shows up inside of your client portal. So when you get Pro, you can do all those things. Now, if you don't want to use Pro, I understand that. You just have to figure out how to do it in other ways. But it might behoove you to use Credit Dyno, use Pro. Now you're only paying $197 for unlimited tax for your credit repair software. And now your bottom line just increased drastically. But yeah. And maybe that's our fault, right? Maybe that's our fault for not putting out the additional education on Pro. You know, you shouldn't be just hearing about it from this live, right? So I'm gonna take that on the chin as our fault for not educating everyone properly on everything that Dispute Panda Pro offers. But that's gonna change. I got you for sure. Madmont, where do you get the secondary credit report? So this will be, I'm assuming you're talking about the secondary bureaus. So this could be your, this is like LexisNexis, Innovis, and everything like that. If you go to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they have a whole PDF list of secondary bureaus where like rent gets reported, child support gets reported. It's way more than that as well. You may not necessarily have to attack them or challenge them. They just data stores of information. Charles says, how much is Credit Dyno? So if you're an affiliate, you can get a link that goes from $19.99, I believe, all the way up to like $49.99, depending on what you want to have. If you go to creditdyno.com, you'll have a 7-day trial, and then it'd be $29.99 a month, right? So it depends on which. If you are a credit repair organization, you can offer your clients different tiers depending on how your business is structured, right? You also have the ability to do unlimited sponsored accounts. So say you didn't want your client to pay for credit monitoring, you wanted to sponsor it, you can do that too. You can put your card on file and then you'll pay for the credit monitoring and the client just pays you an additional fee. Some people actually just increase the cost of their services and include that in, so their client is only paying them instead of paying two organizations. But just keep in mind, I don't believe you don't get commissions if you do a sponsor with Credit Dyno. But if you're a consumer and you just want Credit Dyno, you can go to the creditdyno.com. You can get it for $29.99. All right, so how much longer would the live be? Listen, I'm going to until all my questions is answered. So I might be on here for another 30 minutes or so, but yes, Miss Barry and everyone else, there will be a playback. This is on YouTube, right? It's on YouTube. There will be a playback. So yes, ma'am, there will be a playback. Shout out to the people who got to go to work, putting y'all to bed. Oops. Just put y'all to bed. Let me get the ticker up here again. Hold on. Nathaniel, I think we answered this on our Truth or Lie. So what's the question? What's the answer to this, y'all? Does freezing the secondary agency actually work? Because I'm hearing conflicting information. If you freeze LexisNexis, does that help you get deletions? True or false? True or false? If you freeze LexisNexis, does that help you get deletions? True or false? What say y'all? Does freezing LexisNexis help you at all? False. What you say, Ross?
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
What you say,
You
yeah?
ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. I've been doing this more than you.
Listen, round of applause. I'm gonna keep it going, y'all. Can we give some pandas in the chat for everybody who stayed up later than they should have because they got work in the morning? Can we just get some pandas in the chat saying I appreciate y'all? We 3 hours in. 3 hours in. Didn't break a sweat yet. Can we get a free better than they're paid in the chat? Can we get a free better than they paid in the chat? Matter of fact, if this is this something worth sharing? Like, let's let me know. What is this something? Was this worth your time? Was this worth your while? I just need to know your honest opinion. Was your time with me so far? Was it worth it? Air horn for you. Air horn for you. Let me keep the questions going. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out where I was. Ooh. Okay, so is there a business credit dispute panda? There is no business credit dispute panda. There's no business credit dispute panda. There definitely the executive team has talked about it, but we are fans of focus, right? So we got to finish what we started here, right? We got to finish our food. We have to focus, and then once everything is focused and everyone is taken care of in Dispute Panda Pro, there is a possibility where we can look into that. But as of right now, it's not even on the radar to do anything with business credit anytime soon. All right, I missed a few ones. Let me switch up my screen really quickly. Switch up my screen. Wanting to work on my credit was the very first step, then step by step to make sure you're doing it right. So first things first, Edward, please make sure you are watching. If you go to disputepanda.com/training, watch the training. Super self-explanatory on how to get up and running, right? Add yourself as a client. Upload your identity documents. Upload these identity documents upload these identity documents, right? Driver's license, utility bill, SSN. Make sure they all match. Make sure it all matches. Right. Next step, clean up the personal identifiers, right? Call the credit bureaus, Experian backdoor, PI letter if you want to. Make sure everything is tight on that. At the 10-day mark or 15-day mark, your secondary bureaus. If you have any debt collectors, you might want to do debt validation letters. If you have any public records, you might do the bankruptcy letters. If you have secondary bureaus, you might want to challenge LexisNexis and so on and so forth with those guys. By day 10 through 15, you're sending off your attack to the bureau. So I set up everything properly. I then sent off my attack. Now I'm waiting. As I'm waiting, I'm improving my credit. All the stuff I talked about earlier, you're going to do that. You're going to, okay, let me do a budget. What's my utilization here? Let me start doing my minimum payments. I'm improving while I'm waiting. You see what I'm doing there? And then what response did you get back? Is it verified? Is it updated? Is it deleted? Is it no response? And then your response is based off that response. That's what I would do. Look, oops. Laquanda says, what letters are included in the software, if any? So you have all the static letters that I shown earlier. You have and then you have the attacks and the 4 variants. Laquanda, I think I showed it enough. I think you guys kind of get it already. All right, so what's this one here? Will there be a way in the future that your credit report can automatically be updated into your account? It is. That happens right now. So if you are using Credit Dyno at your 35 or 30-day mark, just hit the re-import button. It will automatically pull in the report for you. If you're using a different credit monitoring service, you do have to remove it and then upload it on your own. So you do have that ability. Here's an interesting question from Ursula from a business perspective. Hold on for a second. Let me get my monitor right. What is the average customer spend? I'm budgeting, so we'll like to know. So this is dependent on you, right? So look at it this way. Let's just use $100, right? If you're charging someone $100 a month and you have 5 clients, you just got 500 in. If you're not using Credit Dyno, you're spending $17 per client. Let's round it up to 20 if you want to count mailing in. So you spent the $100 because you mailed out, if you're not using Credit Dyno, to make 500. Outside, I mean, I know there's phone calls, there's other things, but from a math perspective, it makes sense, right? Because you don't have a monthly cost for a credit software. So essentially, you're getting like what is that, 5-to-1 return. If you're using Credit Dyno, now your attacks are free for each of those clients, and you're going to get between $10 to $20 in affiliate commission. So you're making $500 plus an additional, let's say, $15 in affiliate commission minus 5 because you got to mail stuff out. So you just, out of those 5 clients, you made 500, and then you got 15 from Credit Dyno, but you spent 5 each. So you made 550, and you spent nothing. The math is mathing. Whatever spreadsheet you want to put it in, it makes sense. I don't know what scenario the math doesn't make sense. I know somebody going to, check my math. Check my math on that one. Here's a good one. We get this often. Inside of Dispute Panda, is there a way to file an FTC report? The answer is no. Here's the reason why. When you file FTC reports, the only thing I can think of, when you go to FTC report, you're going to identitytheft.gov and you're specifying that you were a victim of identity theft and you're uploading a police report. That is that already has a process and procedure, right? There already has a site, a government site for that. If you want to send your FTC affidavit with your dispute letters, you will have to download that, append it to, and then print it and then mail it off yourself at the time being. If you're asking, is there ever going to be an instance where we can upload a PDF to Dispute Panda and still mail it through the system? The answer is yes. That's currently in testing to work. But Dispute Panda will never help you file a CFPB complaint. It will never help you file a FTC complaint from the software. Does that make sense? You still have to use those external services to get the job done. And the reason being is Dispute Panda could never control those entities or those websites, right? If the FTC's website changes just a little bit, everything breaks. If the CFPB changes their website, changes where a button is, everything breaks. So it's best to allow you to just use those websites freely. Lakeisha said, I would like to see a demo of Dispute Panda Pro. We're definitely going to have one. The goal is to have the updated training for you shortly so you can see a full demo. As you see, a lot of changes have been made, especially how things look and feel with inside of Dispute Panda. So we got to redo the training anyway, and Dispute Panda Pro training is coming with that. I'm gonna try to power through these questions, y'all. I'm almost at the bottom. Jesus. Should we follow the sequence of disputing if we miss the 30-day window to send out the next letter? Also, what are the steps for disputing a paid off charge off CFPB? So you can, right? So if you miss a window, it's fine. You can just go on with your next attack, right? As long as you send them within 35 days apart, right? So going more is fine. You don't want to send too frequent. If you send too frequent, that's when you're going to really kind of get screwed up with it. So if you're in that 35, 40-day range, you're fine. If you miss 30 days, life happens. That doesn't stop anything. In some instances, if your client or you were disputing a lot in the past, maybe from another system, another credit repair provider, it might make sense to even stall for 60 days, to relax for 60 days with the disputing before you jump back into it. So depending on the situation, having a 30-day, 60-day time frame off, it's okay. It's okay. Let me change this here. Let me change my look. Does the AI system go through thousands of successful disputes and picks and makes new dispute based off the success and past successes? Wow, it feels like a tongue twister. Or does it keep researching new ways to get deletions? The answer is yes. So Panda AI version 2, there was a video released recently on YouTube, 5 things that you might have missed about Dispute Panda a couple days ago. And we talked about that. There were over 500,000 attacks generated within Dispute Panda. That information was used for machine learning and fed back into the engine to be able to generate the verbiage necessary to help get deletions. So the answer is yes. And AI version 3 is going to be even better. I can't wait to version 3. Version 3 is going to be crazy. Jack says, hold on, wait. Hold on. They said I got stamina, dog. Ooh, air horns for stamina. Air horns for stamina. Pandas in the chat for stamina. You know what's crazy? I'm just gonna be, since we've been here for a while, we cool now, right? I have imposter syndrome. I have huge imposter syndrome. So like with me, I always feel like it ain't good enough. It's not gonna be good enough. Like, so I was super nervous even coming out here to communicate with you guys because I didn't know how I was going to be received. I haven't done this lives like this in a long time, especially at this length, right? Who do you know? For the people who've been in my programs before, I haven't spoken like this in maybe 2.5, 3 years. So I was thinking I honestly was thinking I wasn't going to be good enough. I was thinking I was going to flop. But I got that dog in me. I got stamina though. Let's put it like this. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate the love. Let's answer this one here. Mad Mont, should I still upload client's driver's license if it has a PO box instead of home address? That's See, I believe there's like 36 different places. I mean, if everything that person does goes to a PO box, I get it, right? So if you got like the cell phone bill says PO box, the driver's license says PO box, the passport, like if it's clear across the board, fine. Ideally, you don't want to do that. Ideally, you don't want to do that at all. See if you can get another form of ID. I believe there's like 36 states that allow you to update your driver's license online. If there is a brick and mortar address, it would make sense. Now, if this client's or your whole life is at a PO box, like their job has them at a PO box, the cell phone bill has them in the PO box, then okay, that's fine. But if it's just like this one thing that says a PO box, I wouldn't necessarily do it. All right, keep going. This is a good one from Holly. Can you explain the envelopes and why there are 2 separate sets from a sender and one from a creditor? So, during testing, we've had some folks who say, you know what, I like to send my what she's mentioning is when you go to your tax tab and you download, right? When you download your letters, we do provide number 10 envelopes, right? So these are forever stamps, right? So if you have a printer and maybe you don't want to write it on there, right? But if you have a printer that actually feeds envelopes, right? So a lot of credit repair organizations, they get the big boy printers where they can just feed it envelopes. Well, it will write the name and the address on the envelope for you. So that's why we did it. We did it so it speeds up your process. I mean, you got 50 to 100 clients. Were you handwriting mail? So in some instances, some people like to have the client's address. Some people like to have the destination's address as well. So we provided that to you as an option. Janet says, I'm new to the platform. Where do I start? You start with the training. It takes like 30 minutes to go through, but it's pretty self-explanatory. As soon as you log in, go to clients, add yourself as a client, upload your personal information based off what I told you today, get your credit dyno report, clean up the PI info. I feel like I said this already. I'm going to skip this one. I said this like 10 times already. All right, here we go with Paul. It would say, is it fair to say that as a CRO, not only do we need credits for an attack, but we also need to make sure that we have enough credits to send mail virtually within the software, correct? If you are not mailing on your own, there are some people who download stuff, print, mail, cool. If you are not mailing through this, if you're not mailing on your own and you're mailing through the system, yes, you will need mail for credits. Absolutely. Okay, so Patricia says, can you finish my credit report? I'm stuck. Price. Patricia, send an email to info@disputepanda.com and clearly explain where you're stuck at. Hey, I am having trouble doing this. Help. They will break everything down for you to help out as best as possible. Please, please, please take advantage of the support via the chat function, via the email as well. I think this is a question. Hey, here's my question to y'all, right? So Bridget says, will these meetings be held weekly or monthly? Be honest. If we did this monthly, right? If we just picked the time every month to do this, would you guys show up? It may not be as long as this, right? This is the first one. Y'all liking me. Y'all feeling the boy. But if we did this monthly, Dispute Panda Live, would you like it? If we did a Dispute Panda Pro Talk, the Dispute Panda Pro Talk will be for everyone who's on pro, everyone who's a business, and we can get into the credit repair business blueprint stuff, how to do sales, how to do marketing, how to be an attractive character, how to do presentations, yada, yada, yada. So we'll have a general call, which is a bit longer, and then you have like the business call. If we did a Dispute Panda Pro Live once a month and Dispute Panda Live once a month, do you see value in that? He said, yes, but a little bit shorter past my bedtime. I got you. All right, here we go. Pricing of Pro and the difference. Pro is $197 a month, flat fee. That's it. Unlimited clients, unlimited everything. So just think of this. Dispute Panda is your attack engine. Dispute Panda Pro is your CRM. Dispute Panda Pro has integrated billing. It has the secure client portal. It has the re-import summaries. It has the built-in websites. It has the built-in billing. It has the built-in where you can put your affiliate links in. You can download reports. You can message back and forth to your clients. Pretty soon, it's going to have a referral program where if you invite somebody to Dispute Panda and they get Dispute Panda Pro, you make like a percentage of that. I don't know what the percentage is going to be yet. It's still in the works. Dispute Panda Pro also will come with Dispute Panda Pro Talks, individual for Pro, as well as a business lessons and courses for Pro. And from our talks last week, Pro will begin to get like onboarding. So we're beefing up the customer service, right? So, before we went from 8 to 5 and now we're 24/7. Now we're bringing on the phone support and the community. So our idea with Pro will be Pro is for people who really are trying to take the credit repair business to the next level. So we want to be special for them. Like we want to do something completely different. Like you get everything, the CRM and all that stuff like that. But if you're trying to do the business, then we look at the everyone using Dispute Panda, everybody using Dispute Panda Pro as an extension of the vision. So those people who are taking a shot with Dispute Panda Pro, we want to add more to it. So yeah, think of that. Dispute Panda is the attack engine. Dispute Panda Pro is the CRM, the communication tools, the re-import summaries, all the fanciness and stuff like that. Jamita says, will Dispute Panda Pro have the ability to accept client payments via the CRM so I can connect my merchant account? Yes. And actually, let me move this thing. So if you go to, let me hide this tracker down there. If you go to disputepanda.com/proven payments, or you scan this code here, they will do a merchant analysis. They will actually import your information inside of Dispute Panda Pro. They literally will set it up for you. So Dispute Panda currently uses authorize.net as the gateway, but you still need a high-risk merchant account if you're doing credit repair. Like, you can't go to authorize.net and say, hey, I'm a credit repair company, because they're going to just shut you down in a few weeks. So you have to go through a high-risk merchant, which is like a bank who's okay with that level of risk, and then they connect you to authorize.net, and you're using the same API code and all the other jazz, but you don't have a chance of being shut down. So like with Stripe, people can get set up with Stripe. As soon as Stripe sniffs out that you're using credit repair or whatever like that, you're going to get that email like, hey, in 7 days, you're going to be moved off, and it's going to be a problem. So yeah, absolutely. We got like 4 more questions, y'all. Does Dispute Panda have an official community? We will have one within 40 days or so. It will be within 40 days. Dispute Panda community is currently being built because, as I said earlier, you do not build on land you do not own. You do not build on land you do not own. It's taking us a little bit of time, but we are coming. From my guy Santana, I'm not sure if he's still here, though. But for my guy Santana, we added that today, buddy. I know you asked about that. I saw when you put in that request for that a long time ago. We finally got it together for you. So let me show you what we did for you, Santana. Let me show what we did for you. Boom. Let me hide my banner. Oops. Hide my banner. So if you go into attacks, start new round, you got your pay for delete letter right there. Static letter, freebie too. And you also got a goodwill letter. So a goodwill letter will be used in instances where, you got less than 3 late payments, between 1 and 3 late payments in the last, say, 5 years, right? So generally, like, say COVID happened to you, life happened, and you were stellar, and then you missed a payment or 2. Well, as a company, they're still going to do what they do, right? They're just going to report it. But you can use the goodwill letter and send it to an executive. You can download the letter and then email it, right? You don't send that to the credit bureaus. You send that to like the VP or whatever, or the president of whatever company. You send a goodwill letter. You explain your story, and it has a good story in there. You use the handwritten font, and you see if they will voluntarily remove those late payments, right? So if you're in a scenario where less than 3 late payments, good history, typically a good job, then maybe you don't go right into repair mode. You do goodwill first. And then your pay for delete letter is basically you saying, hey, delete, I'll pay it in full if you delete it, right? You can use this for collections. You can use this scenario for anything. Do they have to take a goodwill letter? No, this is a request. Do they have to take a pay for delete? No, these are all requests, but these are viable ways to get things done. Do y'all work for Novo? What's Novo, Christian? Jack said I'm 84. Woo, I'm trying to get there, big dog. Kate says, if one writes a factual/consumer law letter, only factual/consumer law verbiage is used, and attaches the marked up credit report Metro 2 codes, does that mean I can't sue in court? No, you can sue in court. You can sue in court. Absolutely, you can sue in court. Abso-freaking-lutely you can sue in court. Marcus says, does Panda, hold on, let me get my, Marcus says, does Panda generate a credit analysis during the initial onboarding without having to manually calculate the negative derogatory items on the credit report utilization? At this time, it doesn't. This audit report is also currently in testing to be released. We are trying to figure out the best way to do it so you can put in your credit report, it generates an audit, and you can share that with your consumer or your client, or it gives you something you can speak on over the phone. So that is something we're currently working on and testing as well. But at this moment, it does not, but we will. Matter of fact, if you guys have any suggestions for an audit, send them over. What do you want to see? What do you wish your current audit product doesn't do? We will do it. No problem at all. Tell us what you want, and we're going to make it happen. There are times when I upload incorrect documents and discover it just after we generate the letter. I want to know, is it possible to edit the letter before sending it in Panda Mail? So you cannot, at this present time, if you have a mistake or anything like that, there's only two ways to fix it. You have to, you can't fix it. It can't be fixed after the letter is generated. Let's put it that way, right? Once the letter is generated and the attack is created, that attack is created. What you can do, if it's a small mistake, you can download it, change whatever you need to change, then mail that round out yourself at the time being. At this moment, the upload feature is not live yet, where you can upload documentation to mail through the system. So you will have to manually mail that one on your own. Number two, I would say, is before you generate an attack, look at that profile tab, look at your documents, make sure everything you have in there is A1. Right? So an ounce of prevention. I don't know the saying right now because I'm tired. I don't want to mess it up. But an ounce of prevention. Somebody said, some wise man said an ounce of prevention. Something. All right. We got the last question, y'all. Is it possible to pay for a live mentor to walk you through the Dispute Panda? I think I just did it. For the free ski, Aaron. AA Ron. I'm going to call you AA Ron. Air horns for AA Ron. Applause and trues. Air horns, trues, and applause for AA Ron. You just had a live mentor walk you through Dispute Panda, big dog. You just had a live mentor walk you through it all. Listen, let me get this out of here. Let me hide this out. Let me talk to the people really quickly. I'm about to sign off. I want to talk to y'all really quickly because I'm gonna say this. Let me get my stuff together. Let me get my banners together. Am I going white? Nah, we ain't going white. We going black. We gonna go with. Matter of fact, we gonna go white. Listen, I want to tell y'all this really quickly. Don't give up on improving your credit. Don't give up on your clients because people need you. Y'all don't understand how much y'all helped me tonight, right? Like I said, I have huge imposter syndrome. I haven't done a presentation in years, and y'all made me feel so welcome. You made me feel so strong that I appreciate you. Keep doing that for the people that you love. The only thing I ask is you pay it forward. If you learn anything tonight, use it, share it. If I dropped any gems, shout me out on social media. Like, spread the love. It costs you nothing to give a like. It costs you nothing to say, yo, it costs you nothing to share it as YouTube. Like, this is going to be on YouTube. 3 hours and 33 minutes plus of some heat. That's all I ask. Share it forward. Pay it forward. Like, and number two, I would say thank you. Air horns. Applause. Y'all didn't have to be here this long. Y'all didn't have to listen to a word I said. Y'all didn't have to give me so much love, but y'all did. Please keep being a blessing to people. I appreciate y'all, man. Let me look at these comments. Let me look at these comments real quick. My eyes low now. Such a blessing. I did your CRA programs. Megaphone. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, man. There you go, Jack. Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Boom. Can you add a preview button? That's a good one. Send it over to support. We're going to get it done. All right. I know my wife like, yo, I ain't know you was going to be on the call for this long. I ain't know either. I told you I was going to answer every single last question, though. So once again, just to recap, like, comment, subscribe, share this live, watch it on 2x speed, 3x speed the next time tomorrow. Get your credit dyno accounts, get your free links. Now, all those people that said I can't afford credit repair, what they going to say now? You can say, listen, go get your credit dyno account. I got you. Go get your credit dyno account. I got you, auntie. If they can't afford $19.99 to $29.99 a month or whatever it might be for credit monitoring, then, they ain't really want it. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, just drop the pandas in the chats. We're going to sign off. Just drop the pandas in the chats for me. Just everybody spam the pandas in the chat as much as you can. I know it's on slow mode. Air horns for you. Air horns for you. Air horns for y'all. Round of applause. Trues. Round of applause. Trues. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion. Peace out, y'all.